All right, folks, welcome. This is the Board of Finance special budget meeting on May 6th, 7:02. We're going to call this thing to order. Oh, there's Kim. I'm admitting her now.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the
Allegiance to the
flag of the
flag of
United
the
States
United
of
States of
America
America,
America,
the
and to the
republic
republic for which it
for which
stands,
stands
stands
one
one
nation,
nation
under
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 God,
God,
indivisible, with
liberty
liberty and
and
liberty
justice for
justice
all.
for all.
Okay, so as we've just been chatting about, we have public speak to get through. Again, I'll just add, if you could keep it tight, it would be appreciated. There's a lot of people on here. We have, like 30 people here. So let's go. Let's start. I'm just going to go down my list here. First, I have Alex.
You'll need to unmute yourself, Alex.
All right. Going once, going twice. I may have to come back to you. Okay, Diane Choquette.
Good evening, everyone. I'll keep it quick. Just want to say this current budget that was presented that failed at referendum was like the largest increase we've had in an extremely long time. So I am for reducing the budget significantly. I would expect to see the school come in around 4 or 5% increase and the town no more than 3%. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Diane Grenier.
I really have nothing to add, just good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you. Eric Nuns or Nunez. Apologies, I'm not sure.
That's okay. Thank you. As always, I just want to thank the boards for your work on the budgets and throughout the year. I emailed all the boards earlier, so you know my thoughts already. But just to make it public, I would appreciate not any drastic cuts. As I mentioned in the letter, Hebron really voted down all their budgets, so they're going to be looking at making cuts, and I anticipate RAM will have to make a deep cut. I've heard Hebron's looking at RAM to make a 0% increase, which will bring down the Andover share considerably. So I would really appreciate if we didn't make any drastic cuts tonight, kind of see what happens next Tuesday with RAM's budget, and then go from there. And as I mentioned in my letter, I want us to all realize that our taxes are lower than they were 3 years ago. So just to kind of keep that in mind too. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Partridge.
I don't know about everyone else's taxes, but my taxes aren't any lower than they were 2 years ago. But that's aside. I appreciate all the work that you guys are doing, and I agree that we need to make some drastic cuts, or we're going to be back in this cycle multiple times. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to come back and see if Alex is available at this point. Alex, do you want to speak?
Yes, thank you so much. Nothing else to add, just that would appreciate more transparency in terms of budget cuts, and hoping to be around that limited increase, if any increase at all. Thank you. Appreciate everything you guys do.
Scott?
I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very good. Jeff Murray.
I'm good. I'm just listening.
All right, thank you. Jen McGoldrick.
I'm just here in support of the school. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Jenny Morrell.
Same thing as Jen, in support of the school. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Joanne.
Hi, everyone. I'll be real quick. I think we knew this day was probably coming. I know a lot of you were reticent to make any major cuts or really too many cuts at all until you got the opinion from the town people. And now I think they have spoken all across the board. You know, it was nice to see Diane Choquette, a former Board of Finance member, there today. You know, we did used to do a lot of work. So please dissect everything. Every time, I've always seen a surplus every year. So know that even if you made a deep cut somewhere, you'll probably be able to fix it by transferring some money in. Number two is I've been, kind of on board with maybe cutting some of the capital funds just this year. You can always refund them another year just to help in that way. We've got a lot of money. Those are like those little bank accounts, so they're adding up. Some can't be cut, but some can. And then lastly, I had sent you a long email outlining some salary concerns that I had, just hoping that those had time to be checked in so that we have accurate information that you're starting with. And then possibly if you're adding new positions and salary lines, there's no need to keep those stipends there. So there's a cut that could be made. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now, where am I? Jody. You're muted.
Sorry, I was trying to do it. I'm just here to listen, and thank you for your continued work and for support of our students.
Thank you. Kathy. There's two Kathys, so just the one that just has a Kathy.
I'm just listening. Thank you.
Very good, thanks. Kathy Hartnett.
Yep, I'm here in support of the school. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Katie Dixon.
Here in support of the school. Thank you.
Okay. Kelsey. Kelsey, going once,
Just
going twice.
here to listen. Sorry.
No worries. Understood. Linda Derrick. Linda Derrick. I'll pass over. I'll go to Linda Fish then.
Hi, all set. Just here to listen.
Thank you, ma'am. Emeritus member. Lisa, our treasurer, is here. Good to see you, Lisa.
I'm here. I'm just working on stuff while I'm sitting here. So yes, I'm just here to listen and see what you need me to do.
Yeah, we're going to track some stuff tonight, I imagine.
That's what I thought.
Very good. Okay. Maribeth Haller.
Hey there. I'm just here to support the school, and I'm really hoping that the school budget isn't cut very much. I know they're already working with the deficit. There's an increase in student enrollment, so just trying to make sure that, hold on. Nope, go on out. Just want to make sure that, my kids get what they need, and hopefully everybody else. So thank you guys for all you do, though.
Thank you. Matt, I believe our administrator is here.
Just watching. Thank you.
Very good, sir. Matthew Haggerty.
All set, but thank you.
Okay, thanks. Melissa Lateska.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that after hearing and reading all the articles in the River East, and everybody's concern is that the taxes overall are getting higher and residents are having a hard time keeping up with taxes. And as fuel prices increase and inflation has been going up, I think as a town, we just really need to look at increasing our tax base and our revenue so that the residents don't bear the brunt of the burden of taxes. I just hope that that's a conversation that starts being had more and more frequently. How do we increase tax revenue in the town?
Okay. Michelle Lorenz.
I'm here in support of the school and the town. I feel like both the budgets were reasonable. My concern is with the budget cuts is how much that's going to affect us in the coming winter and hurricane season when we cut town budgets. I mean, we've already been struggling, I think, with keeping people on, as well as only having one plow person. It caused a lot of chaos this winter. The other thing is that when we consider the school budget, are we considering the effect it's going to have on students that are protected by IDEA and state laws. A lot of people, especially if you are older than 43, you don't remember inclusive learning. And so there were institutions back then, and there aren't anymore. And so we have to service all children equitably and equally. And without proper funding, those students don't get what they need. They don't get the services they need. They don't get a real learning environment. And so when we do things like that, like, are we really taking into consideration the effects it's going to have on future adults, and whether or not, honestly, like whether or not we're just doing it to reduce the dollar, because everything in cost is going up. And that's not just an Andover thing, that's a national thing. So I really hope that you're considering not just the youth, but the seniors in town that require needs, people that have needs, that need more support with getting in and out of their houses, able to get their medications, things like that. And I guess that's really all I have to say. I mean, so thank you.
Thank you. I believe next up is Marcy.
Hey, Rob, did you get my message? I just texted you. Someone's trying to get in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm probably so deep in the participant list I didn't see it. There's two people
Yeah, I just
actually.
texted you. Yeah, I just texted you. Sorry,
I
Marcy.
got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Apologies, everyone. It's a very long list now.
Yeah, obviously everyone, the townspeople have spoken. Hope you'll listen to the words that they said with their votes. I wanted to answer Miss Lateska's concern about the town. I'm on the EDC committee, and one of the things that I discovered by being on the committee is that we just don't have any money to support the town increasing our tax base. And you see a lot of towns have budgets for marketing and campaigning to get new businesses in town, and it's something that we struggle with. So one of the things that, we try to do is encourage our community to be, a welcoming place for everyone. But it's been a challenge without the money that we need for, marketing ourselves. So anyway, that's just an answer to that. Thanks.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So I think I'm going to back up a second because some people I'm admitting are in the list now. Mike Beckwith, do you have a public comment for us?
No comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Sam Long.
Hi, here in support of the school, just listening.
Okay, thank you, Sam. All right, I have a person here just listed as a Samsung. I don't know who that is, but if you'd like to public speak, now's your time. All right, I'll come back. Shannon?
Yes, sir. First of all, I don't think we need to make drastic budget cuts. I don't think that was necessarily the message from yesterday. I believe that there are some relatively easy fixes that will make the town's budget more palatable to our community. First, the town is going to receive about $100,000 from the state that has to be used for education. That's getting back to being more equitable now, with an increase in the ECS dollars that hadn't been changed since 2013. Second, there's $50,000 sitting in an account that AES would have asked be put in our capital account. But that's certainly, it's sitting there. It can be turned to the town and not put into our capital account. Third, at a time when we're all feeling financial pressures, I think we do need to use some money. I suggest at least $100,000 from the town's very hearty fund balance. I just think either to do what Joanne said, which is to not fund some of the funds for the town, or to take money out of our fund balance. I know you want to keep it at about 15%. but maybe with all of our needs this year, that just won't be possible. And I'll echo what was said earlier. I think RAM clearly is going to have to cut its budget. So we're going to see some savings there. If you do determine that you need to cut budgets, which I have already said, I don't think you're going to need to. I ask that you cut similar amounts from the towns and the schools' budgets to reflect that the voters thought that both budgets were similarly too high. Last year, you cut the school by 160,000 and you added 50,000 to the town's budget, which I don't believe was equitable. Again, I don't think you need to make drastic cuts. There's money there that can be used to offset our towns and schools' expenses that I think would make the budget a lot more palatable and hopefully passable. Thanks for all the work you're going to do.
Thank you, Shannon. Okay, Stacy Kaufman.
Just listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna. Nope, sorry, Valerie.
Hello. So I would echo what most everybody has said already. Last year was a very difficult year, as Shannon Loudon said. That $160,000 one-way cut was very difficult. But I would also remind all of you guys and the taxpayers that from 2015 to 2020, we were cut $418,000. And so in the last 10 years, our increase up to date is only 244,000 for a decade. And so that's where we are very different from some of our neighboring towns. The way we got in this situation this year, where unfortunately that number is a lot higher than people would hope it was, is not because of poor spending. It's not because of a lot of additions this year. It's simply because we kicked the can for years and years. And I know that's not what anybody wants to do on the town side or the school side. So, as been mentioned already, there are quite a few other revenue sources to consider instead of cuts. As was also mentioned in a school budget, there's a lot of mandates, unfunded mandates, but mandates that can't be cut. So I'm just hoping that, there's a collaborative effort to drop the bottom line, but to also remember the cuts that have happened to the school, not only last year, but in years prior. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Val. Sorry. Where was I?
I don't know if you want to try Samsung again, if they're still.
Yeah, yes, whoever the Samsung phone is.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Who
All
are
right,
you?
my name's Dave Thibodeau. Sorry, I didn't realize that it was listing my phone. But I mean, I appreciate it's like walking a tightrope for you guys, and I appreciate how hard it is to come up with a budget. But there's also a quality of life that needs to be maintained, and by raising taxes, everybody's quality of life goes down, or a lot of people's quality of life. So it's not an endless source of revenue to raise people's taxes. And I know you know that, but just wanted to add that. And I would also say I haven't seen a decrease in my taxes in the last 5 or 6 years. So I don't understand that comment, but
Oh, I mean, I could just briefly. I mean, last year when we finally passed a budget, it was actually a very small decrease to taxation. It was half a percentage point. I'm not saying it
yeah.
was
Well, I
world
didn't
changing.
see it in my tax bill, so I don't know. Maybe there was a mistake.
Okay.
But anyways,
Okay.
it is what it is, right? So I would that's all I want to say. And everybody, the school, not everybody uses the school. Okay. And my kids are grown, but, of course, when they went to school, I obviously supported the school. I still support school. But, I look at some of the expenses that the school has, and some of them are a little bit outrageous, but I think the towns have spoken, and I know Andover didn't speak as loud as Hebron, but a little disappointed to see the small turnout in Andover. But anyway, good luck to you guys, and hope we can come up with something reasonable. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Uh, Apologies because the list is so long. Stacy, did I get you already?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, thank you. Um, Toriana, I believe you are from the River East. I believe just to watch our meeting, but if you want to say something, now's your time.
I am from the River East, but I am all good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Leanne Hutchinson.
Yes, hi. I don't have any specific suggestions at this time. I was just wondering, often things are done by the Board of Finance by percent, and this may come up by itself, but if you make decreases tonight, I was just wondering if you could translate that into what that, or very close to what that would make the mill rate be. Thank you.
Yeah, we can we have the mill rate spreadsheet, and depending exactly on where we end up, um, the calculation we may end up collapsing the mill rate back into one into
Yes,
a
whether you
simpler
do it by
calculation.
percent or, thank you, yeah, whether you do it by percent or by straight dollar
Yeah,
amount.
we can
Just to give us
we can pull up that mill rate calculation spreadsheet. You know, if we once we have a number, we can talk about what that would mean.
Thank you.
Okay, now, since I was admitting people during this, if I have missed anyone, speak up now. I think there might be one person. I don't know if I missed anyone. If anyone hasn't had a chance for public speak, please speak now.
I see Mike Beckwith on. I didn't see him.
I think we got Mike.
Oh, we did? Oh,
Yeah.
He got his chance.
There's a phone number, just an
Okay,
860. Um,
Jesse
07.
Person, did he have a chance?
Oh, Jesse, that's right. I think I just admitted him recently.
Did Georgette get a chance as well, or?
Georgette. No, I don't think so. Georgette, right. So, all right, let's start with Jesse. We'll go to Georgette next.
Good evening. No, I'm just curious to see what happens today with the board after last night's mandate. Just curious to see what's going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Georgette? Okay. And again, there is a phone number. It's just 742-5475. Did we get you?
Yes, this is Leanne again. My phone number almost always shows up in addition to my name. I don't know why that is, but thank you.
Okay, no problem.
That is me.
All right, understood. Technical issues. They are what they are.
We have Elizabeth Partridge too. I don't
Yeah,
think we
she's
was.
We got Elizabeth, I
Oh,
believe.
she did speak. Okay.
Did we
Jeff
get Anna?
McGuire.
Did we get Anna?
Oh, we didn't get Anna.
Oh, was
Anna
Anna one of the
on
late
this one.
admits? Okay, Anna, you're up.
Good evening. I'm just I'm watching from the laptop and listening and speaking from my phone because I'm having some audio issues. I just listening in just for see what happens this evening and just following up on my request after the last public meeting. I sent an email and I would still like to request the line items for total salaries, both for the town of Andover employees and for the Andover Public School employees as well. So just following up on those requests.
Okay.
Jeff
All right.
McGuire.
Is there
Jeff
anyone?
McGuire. I don't think you hit Jeff.
Oh, is Jeff on? I didn't
Yep.
see him on the list. That's weird.
There.
Why is...
I come up as Town of Andover.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking that was Matt, but you're right. Matt's on his own name. All right, go ahead, Jeff.
That's good. I don't have anything to add to public speak. I'll talk during the meeting.
Fair enough.
Right.
All right. So that gets us to discussion. Before we get into the discussion, I just want to mention my understanding of the state number, the supplemental aid that we're receiving is $97,943. And I'm thinking about, Lisa, where we want to put that, whether it's revenue, whether it's, intergovernmental, whether it's a supplemental line that we just stick underneath the ECS number. but that number needs to come in, right off the top there, it's about a 1% benefit to us in terms of lowering the tax increase. So there's that. We talked briefly about the likelihood of Rams number coming down. They have a meeting, I believe, Tuesday. Um, so unfortunately, that overlaps with our next town budget meeting, but that is when they'll be making, I think, their decisions. It's hard, it's hard to know what they're going to do, and we can't plan exactly on it, but I think we can plan on some benefit from that. Um, okay, so the results. Why don't we? I got that email from Diane. Why don't I go ahead and share this? All right, can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I mean, I think we all know this number here. I think we wanted to look at here were the advisory questions. As you can see, majorities with a slightly larger majority on the school side, but majorities said both budgets were too high. 456 for the school, 392 for the town. So those inform, kind of my perspective on what we need to do. In addition to obviously kind of the help we're getting, the one shot help we're getting from the state, and whatever benefit we might get from RAM. Now, board members will recall going into the town meeting when we presented our budget, we had made a decision to take the budget to the town and get the feedback before we did anything vis-a-vis fund balance. Last year, part of the way we got that little tax decrease in our budget was to use $190,000 in fund balance. This year, right now, as the budget stands, we're using none. We have 2.1 million in unassigned fund balance, so we could consider that in addition to cuts. So, my thinking is to do a mixture of using, the benefit from the state money, a mixture of a little bit of fund balance, and a mixture of small cuts, I think, modest cuts to school and town, and try to get us down to more like, if we could get down to 3.5 or something like that. We're at 6.7 now for review, for recap purposes, for a tax increase. Obviously, as people have mentioned, much higher tax increase than we've seen for quite some time in this town. So if we could get that down to a much more moderate number, I think we stand a decent chance of passage. So that's my 2 cents, but I'm going to open it up to the rest of the board to talk about it and hear your thoughts about what you want to do. Oops. Sorry, guys. I should leave that up.
Rob, did you say the RAM meeting is next Tuesday?
That is my understanding. Originally, I think they were going to do it Monday night, but I heard from Roberta today that they had moved it to Tuesday.
Okay. And when do we have to have ours done again by?
We have to take it to the town Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Unfortunately, it's an overlay. The thing about the charter is that when we have a rejected budget, we have to go back to town meeting in a week.
Right. So if we went back, whatever we did, and our budget passes, and then RAM comes back with a different number, does
if
ours
they
get
come in,
adjusted?
say we don't incorporate any any thoughts of a cut there because we can't, because they haven't made a decision yet. We would, if our budget passes, then I think after our budget passes, we still meet to set the mill rate. And when we would do that, we would simply set a lower mill rate.
Okay.
I
So
think that's
we still can take it into account, even if it's after.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
because it's just a lowered outlay, so we would just lower the mill rate accordingly. I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
So since the budget did not pass, now we're dealing with two separate budgets.
Correct.
Do we want to concentrate on one, on the town first and go to AES, or who's got comments on that?
Obviously, we should probably look at them individually, one at a time.
That's what I said.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think
said.
that makes sense.
Let's
I
go
think
look
that
at.
makes, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. I'm curious to look at, to kind of compare the operations side from the capital side.
Yeah,
It's been a while since we've
I
looked
gotta pull up our spreadsheet here. Hang on a second, Liz. It's a good point. Let me
at it.
I'm trying to find the most recent one. There's an awful lot of these. We've been making a lot of changes and deliberations, so give me a moment. I should have had that up already. Let me look.
I think it's also, it's hard to say that the town has spoken one way or the other when only like less than 800 people voted. That's sad.
I forget how many total voters we have, but I think we have like 1,100.
Oh, I thought it was
I
more than
think we
that.
had 3/4%, 3/4 turnout. I could be wrong, guys, but that's my recollection.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty,
not bad.
that's,
Okay.
it's actually pretty good for a budget referendum.
For a budget referendum, I would describe it as high
Yes.
turnout,
All
actually.
right.
This is a good
That's fair.
turnout.
Good turnout.
Yes. And everyone has the right to go ahead and vote. I mean, if people decide not
yeah.
to do it, it's on them.
Yep.
All right, let me just see the most recent spreadsheet that I have. That's the pure.
And Rob, if you could let me know your total, so I'm make sure that we match
Yeah,
our total
I
before
want
we
to, you know,
start.
Lisa, I was looking for the last one from you. I mean, I have one board budget prelim 32426, and I feel like, is that really the last one?
4.8 should be one for
4.8.
4.7 or 4.8.
That's where I'm trying to find it. That's why I want to make sure I've got the right one. Apologies. If you have it ready to hand, can you email it?
I was just going to say, yeah, Lisa, does the one you have the notes on the side that we talked about in the column?
When
'Cause
you
maybe
say
that was-
notes, I'm just looking at my laptop. When you say notes, it's whatever's in the notes that are in the book. Is that what you're talking about?
Like whenever we were discussing certain line
Yeah.
items,
In the
we would
right-hand
make
column,
little
we would
notes.
add notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It is on the
right.
website too, but do you guys, I mean, this is in
I have
Excel.
I have a chart that's dated 5/1. That seems to be.
I don't think I have that because
Yeah.
town meeting was only what, 4-1, and then the vote was 5. So
I don't know why it says 4. It must be a 5, might be a typo. But it's entitled town budget meeting. But why don't you send around the last one you have, because I want to work off yours and we can, not have any screw ups here.
All right,
Send me
hold
what
on.
you've got so we can look at it again. We can look at ops, we can look at capital.
It's gonna
But
take me
as
just
I
a minute.
recall, we were at about a 6% increase on the town side up for the ops budget and negative 2.9 for capital. That's where I remember us being.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. And then I'll share it and we'll go through it.
Now I want to make sure I'm grabbing the right one. So still,
Sorry, we should
I'm
have sorted this out
pretty
earlier.
sure. Hold on, because that doesn't say. It's got RAM on it because I knew we had to make that last minute RAM change. So hold on.
Right. I have a mill rate one, 4.3, but that's just the mill rate chart. We need the detail, the budget detail.
Let me just open it up before I send it, make sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this looks like prelim as of 4/8/26. So it's coming at you, but just oh, it's saying missing subject. Hold on. It's gonna put recent budget.
All right. Well, while we wait for that,
All right, I sent it. See if you all get it.
okay,
Jeff and Scott, should I send
there
it
it is.
also
Thank you.
to the Board of Selectmen too, or just let it go? No? Okay.
I got it.
Let it go for
I
now
got
because
it.
we could send it out. We
Okay.
could send out whatever
Okay.
let's do our thing and then we can circulate what we've produced.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sound
Lisa.
good?
Yeah.
Did you go ahead and share that?
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. Okay. So I just want to double check something while we're here. I gotta move some things so I can actually see this bloody thing.
And I was going to say, if we just take a look at that vote and just that, is the dollar amount on that vote? It's not, is it? The one you showed? It's probably not.
Sorry, what?
I just wanted to verify that total is the total that was on that vote total, but I don't think the dollar amounts are on there, are they?
They're
That you
not.
showed?
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I was-
but I mean, we have the budget presentation we could look at, but this looks right to me. 6.08, that's correct.
Yeah.
2.92, that's correct. This is right.
Okay. And we
Okay,
made
so
the
this is-
entry down at the very bottom about RAM, so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Down
the
on
RAM
like
and
line
the RAM is
503.
here
Yeah, yep.
because we had this here. This is the 2258. Right. So, now, oops, sorry. I was trying to scroll up. One of the things, Lisa, I don't know how we want to display it.
Yep.
Right. But where do we have? So here's ECS, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, would we add something here to the effect of supplemental state aid fiscal year 27 and put in that number that we're going to, the 97,000, etc. number here? Oh, sorry, that's the wrong year.
Yeah, way over there. Yeah.
Yeah, there
Right
we
there.
go. 97,943.
And then fix your cell. Yeah.
Just 1 second, just so we understand that number is broken down into two pieces,
Yes, that's correct.
right?
So we might want to display it that way if you want. Supplemental education aid is 80,192. So I'll tell you what, let's just do it that way and we'll tally it. We'll say supplemental ECS. Is that fair? 8192. And then down here it would be supplemental town aid FY 27. And that is 17,751.
And so everybody's aware that 80,192 has to be an increase in the budget total to even get that money. Just letting everybody know that.
And
How
it's
much
a
of an
one-time payment.
Sorry, hold on a second. What were you saying there, Jeff? Because
We have to raise the budget by a minimum of 80,192 to get that money.
Which we've already done.
Well, you've
I
already done
I
that,
was
but
looking
what
at
I'm
the
saying-
guidance, the email we got from CCM talking about guidance indicated that, but it also was saying that, towns that had already passed their budgets had that issue, but it wasn't clear to me that because we haven't passed a budget yet and we have an increase in there, that's
So-
the case for us.
What I'm saying, I'm not telling you you won't increase it by that amount of money. I'm telling you if you don't increase it by the educational spending by 80,192, the town would not get the money.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
Okay, I
you
understand.
should. I'm just telling you at a minimum, it needs to go up by that much, 80,192 to get the money.
Right. Understood. That's correct. Thank you. So just to have that, now let's see if that propagated properly. Let's go down to the bottom and see if that, hopefully all this formulas worked. And we should see a lower number now. No, see, now it didn't.
All
Well,
right.
expenditures, no, expenditures that's fine. Expenditures shouldn't have changed. That's fine.
You need to negate it. Make it
Grand
negative.
total revenue. There we go. Now this hopefully includes it. Let's take a look here. Now you see it's not picking it up.
All right.
It's
I would go back up to the top. That's what I'm trying to do, and just make sure that your total for your revenues are correct.
Because that cell may not be included.
Right,
Well,
It's the
because
It's
cell that
not.
you added.
It's not drawing from this cell for some reason. It's drawing from
from
you know,
that cell, because that was the
from-
total. That's what I'm
'Cause-
saying. Yeah.
Right.
You
So
gotta
we
change
need
that.
we need I-27
what-
here. Because this is picking up this. That's correct. This is now the intergovernmental revenue number. It's 2.2 million now. So I-27.
Here.
Are these dogs been eating poop?
no.
Would we add? Well,
Don't we need to take it and make it negative if we're getting that money?
No, that
it's
would be on
we're
your
adding to
revenue.
revenue. We're adding to revenue. Yeah.
Adding it to revenue.
All right. Actually, I think it's
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
25 there, and then we add this I-26.
You want to do your totals though.
What I'm doing is I'm trying to add because we split the two numbers. One goes under other town revenue, and one goes under education revenue, right? So
you
I-20,
split.
you see what I did?
Hold on.
I-24 is, let's come back up here, right?
I thought you
I-24 is the regular ECS number. I-25 is the supplemental ECS, the 80,000. And then I-26 is the supplemental town aid, right?
All right. Hold
You
on.
follow
Where
me?
did now I've got the education part. Where did you put the town part?
Right below it.
I put it
On an
in other town
Other
revenue
town.
here. I added I-26. Excuse me.
Oh, no.
Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah, but
it should be up
I-27
top
is,
somewhere where you put in the
Oh, wait.
education part.
I-27 is already being in there, isn't it? Interesting. Why is I-27 already?
Because
because that's what the original, that's the
right,
original
right.
formula.
Oh. So actually that comes out, right?
Because you actually, I'm thinking you put them both up into intergovernmental revenues. You put 80, for the school in the first line and then do the town line, but you keep them all up there. I wouldn't add them to the bottom. Instead, I would correct the cell at the bottom if it's got a wrong digit, if it's got a wrong cell. Because that way it's
Well, we want to
right.
ultimately pick up this number, 2.2 million,
Right.
right?
Right. And I
Okay, so
have
where would you
that,
put
right.
it?
But let's just wait and go down. Now look at total revenue and make sure
Should we add it just here? Should we add it there to grand total revenue?
Can I make a recommendation? Can I make a recommendation? Can I please,
Okay.
Rob, close this spreadsheet, reopen the spreadsheet. Let's just do this. No, we're not going to add any lines. We're not going to try to change any formulas. Add the money into Town Aid Road and add the money into ECS. We know the numbers are 80,000 and 17. You know you're going to increase and send a budget referendum that's more than that. So let's not worry about it. We're wasting time trying to fix a spreadsheet, and we have 100 people on this call. So that's what I would ask you to do. Is because you added those two rows, you're creating a formula problem in my head.
A cell problem.
So close this.
All right.
Without saving it. So
I could just delete these out.
No, I don't know what else. You also made changes down the bottom. So I'm asking you just to close this out and reopen the same thing that Lisa sent you. Right?
And don't save it.
All right, Jeff.
All right. Thank you.
what that does, it just brings everything back to what it was, Rob. That's all.
I understand. And I had already done that, but that's okay. That's fine. No big deal. Now, so what you're suggesting is we add to this cell the 80,000 and we add.
Yeah. So let's go do it. Let's get right on that cell. 2 million. Go over there. You got to put an equal sign in front of it. It's 80,192.
Okay. Yeah.
And then go
Now,
up to Town Aid Road.
Town Aid,
It's not even here.
That's what I
no,
would say. It's not there. That's
It's
not.
not even there. So it's not even here. This is a problem with the whole process that we go through. We have never included grants, which needs to change next year. Because you
well,
gotta
I
include
agree.
all the grants. So
All
You
the
could put
stuff.
it under miscellaneous for now,
Miscellaneous.
state miscellaneous.
well, let me ask you well, you see, you don't, yes, you're gonna have to put it under miscellaneous down later. Let's not even worry about it. It's $17,000. We'll figure that out after you guys deal with all the expenses. Because that's what we should be focused on, is not how we're paying for it, but what we're spending.
Okay. Fine. I just wanted to see the impact. That was all. All right.
If you want to put that in, put it under Town Aid Road, not under Town Aid Road. Pick one. Pick anything you want to put. State miscellaneous, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous grants and aid.
Yeah, state
Right, and then just
miscellaneous.
put a
Because
note on the right.
it's
Put
actually part of,
222.
it's called, it's all interrelated to the Pequod Fund and all that other municipal grants and aid. But there you go.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, you put it in the oh, okay, never mind. All right. I just want to make sure.
The variance picked it up.
Yep. I'm good.
Okay. I'm just going to save it. Okay. All right. Sorted that out. So, do we want to go through the entire town budget? Do we want to just focus on certain areas where we know we have?
I think we should focus on certain areas, and I think we need to kind of go around the board and see what areas people are thinking about. We can't go through the entire budget.
Yeah, we don't. We'd be here forever. I agree.
If
We
we
can
go
just
down to the bottom.
You want to go down the bottom?
Yeah, I just want to see where the largest increase was, like capital versus operations. I just wanted to see that number
Oh,
again.
capital was a decrease. We were at
was a
we're negative 2.92 on capital. We're down
Okay.
30,000 from last year.
Oh,
Doesn't mean we
right,
couldn't
right.
adjust, but we're already negative there. And
Right.
we're 6.12, 6.12 for total expenditures town.
Right. We went up on the town because of some employee things.
A lot of employee
higher.
stuff primarily. Yeah. I would say mostly the employee stuff, insurance costs, that sort of stuff is where the meat of that is. So, you know, you know,
What was that admin assistant? That was long as I can't remember.
I believe we combined these two lines and added a little bit to it. For an assistant for the town administrator.
I mean, the project manager is a separate position, I believe. Right?
Right.
We always come back. We always
You're right.
come
You're
back
right.
to
I'm
this.
sorry. I apologize. We combined it different. I believe we added to this. I mean, obviously the budget request here is up, $25,000 from last year. I mean, we could look at this line. I forget now, the 25,000 increase, I think, was designed for a certain number of hours a week, if memory serves.
Yeah. Does it look like an additional person? I guess we would ask Jeff, does it look like an additional person is going to be hired?
Right.
There are discussions of increasing the current person's time, and there's also discussions about hiring a new person. So they're both on the table.
So
Are they
one
going to
or
be
the other.
are they going to be done July 1st? It's a different question. I was just speaking with Matt today, our new town administrator, and I told him he needs to sit there and do an evaluation of his needs. So he's also working on that.
So you're saying one or the other would happen?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I guess
was-
the question is, do we think we need 30,000 there? Do we?
Well, I don't know if Matt can speak to that yet, if he has any ideas on the number of hours and whether he needs that assistant and how many hours he would need. If you thought about that at all yet, Matt, or share any thoughts?
So, because I'm so new here, this is my 4th week here, so I'm still, getting the lay of the land, so to speak. So it's very difficult for me to, say what's going to happen. I know when I came in here, I was really not worried about the budget as far as what's going to happen until July 1st. So, I mean, the current person I have is that institutional knowledge that they have is great. The town staff that we have has been very easy to work with, but there is a lot to do. And so I do need some assistance as far as it is, whether it be, like as Jeff said, whether it's going to be July 1st or it's going to be delayed or something or part of the year. It's too early for me to assess what we can do. I know that it would be great to have somebody. If it was cut out of the budget, it'd be very tough to continue the operations as is. But we will do what we'll do what the taxpayers say. So it's too early for me to give you a correct answer at this time. But I'll answer questions if you have any.
I think it was like 19 hours a week at $25 an hour or something.
Right.
It wasn't not a lot.
Right, and that's just shy of 25,000. So the question is, do we need 30 in there?
I think that we need to let Matt have the help. I think that when we had Eric, this position was really, really important, and he didn't have the assistance that he needed. So I'm not for cutting this position back at all.
Right.
Could we at least look at bringing it to the 25,000, which is the 19 times the $25 an hour?
Right. I mean, bear in mind what we took that's the thing, and it's a good point, Bill, because what we did was we took the existing about $5,000 we're spending to have Kate help, right? And we added 25,000 to that.
Right. So we could bring it back to 25,000 and still fund that person.
I think the 5150 was a stipend or something, right? So we don't need that anymore.
It's a stipend, and I think
we're going to be using it unless and until we hire somebody to the position, right? Because Kate would still be needed until unless we fill that position, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like to make a motion that we take that 30,000, bring it down to 25,000, which gives us that 19 hours at $25 an hour.
Do we have a second on that?
so. I guess the only thing about that is if he hires somebody separate, that stipend is for the current person that is assisting. Is the plan for her to continue to assist in a different capacity, in addition to what she normally does?
Who's
So
her?
I think that's why the stipend was kept initially instead of
right. And
removed.
I guess that's a good question, Liz, because I feel like I'm uncertain as to what the plan is.
I would ask Jeff McGuire. I think that was why we left it in there, right?
The plan was to provide additional assistance to the town administrator. That was what the plan is. If you cut it by 5,000, we're just going to adjust the plan and the amount of money we pay for someone. I am not adverse to you guys moving this $25,000 on behalf of the town. And listen, just so you understand, whatever you give us, we're going to work with. That's what we've done. You have to realize when you cut and you cut more than you really should, you just cut services for the community. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. You guys got a tough job. Do what you need to do. I'm not adverse to you guys sitting there making a $5,000 cut to that line item.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, Liz seconds. Bill motions, Liz seconds to reduce 102-101 admin assistant from 30,000 to 25,000. Do we have any further discussion on this? I think we've kind of talked it through.
That doesn't change the benefits for that person, does it?
There's no benefits at 19
no benefits.
hours.
19 hours, I think that's the point.
I know. above though, what it was for 30,000. How many hours was that?
Well, again, I
think
don't
that
think it
was
was intended
It
for more
wasn't
than 19
intended.
hours. I think it was we took the stipend amount that's currently being used
and
and
added
we
it.
tacked
added
on.
25,000.
Right.
So
So
Right.
it's not a benefits position.
There's no benefits. Okay.
Yeah, that's my
Right,
understanding.
Louise,
Yes.
there should be a note here on the side that says the 5,150 stipend was kept on here. So it's not like the salary would be 30,000.
Oh, okay. It's the
So,
Yeah, it's
total.
I
just
mean,
under
Or
25. If you do the
yeah,
math, if you do 19 hours a week at $25 an hour, 52 weeks a year, you get like 24,000 and change.
okay.
So,
And that's adding the 5. Okay.
we should keep
okay.
moving.
So why don't we, yeah, let's just keep this going. Why don't we go around and take a vote? I'm just gonna go in order of what you guys are on my screen. Bill,
Yes.
Liz,
yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Louise,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. I believe that's all of us, 7-0. So reduced to, okay, from, okay. Ah, okay. Very good.
What about the project manager?
So this is a position we've never had before. That's correct, right? We've been talking about it for years, but we've never filled it. Where are we on that? What's the thinking there?
The thinking was there were so many grants that we had received that
Right.
Eric to administer them all, he just couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
project manager was
Rob, can I talk
He was
about
like
that?
above
Sure.
capacity for that stuff. What I meant was what was the thinking in terms of salary hours, that sort of thing.
We wait a second. We are utilizing that position this
We're
current.
using it right now.
Oh, okay.
Correct. Yes.
Christine Rendazzo is managing the
Oh, okay.
field project that is going on currently, and she
Okay.
hasn't submitted any bills, but she'll be submitting bills, and I believe we'll come under that $15,000. But with the Lake Road project coming up, the Missoula Road culvert coming up, and some other projects that are coming up, that amount of money is very reasonable. So what we had done as a
Yeah.
board was sit there and say for engineering services, we were thinking that we would have $100 an hour rate bill. And that for engineering services is pretty low. If you want to ask Jeff Murray, who's an engineer, he can sit there and go through that with you. But that was what we were doing. So we were thinking it would take 150 hours, Bill, to sit there and go through it, right? So
Okay. Just asking.
I think that's fair,
No
and
problem.
thanks for the correction on that. You're right. I remember now that we are already utilizing that position. Okay. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to tweak that then. I think we should probably move on. Anybody disagree?
Move on.
Nope.
Yeah,
Let's
move on.
do it.
Let's go down here. I mean, I personally don't want to change this,
Yep.
given what Lisa's been up to,
Against,
against, etc.
where
Um,
where are we on the treasurer clerk? Have we hired anybody? I know that,
Treasurer clerk.
that's
Yeah,
an operational issue, and yes, we've interviewed candidates, and Lisa is in the process of sitting there deciding who we're going to put in that position. So that should be, hopefully, that position is done as soon as possible, so Lisa can focus on more other things.
yeah.
right.
Sounds good.
Now we have an increase in there. It's not a huge one. It's not going to break the bank, but this we just want to confirm this is the number we think we need to fill that position properly.
How many
It is
hours
a 13% increase.
Well, we
How
haven't
many hours is this full time? How many hours a week is this?
This is full time,
Mhm.
and I would lower
Obviously,
that
I
one.
mean, we want
I
to
would
we
lower.
want to
I would
pay for
lower
talent.
that. Listen, I would lower that one $5,000 because, and Lisa, you tell me if I'm wrong. There was a stipend in that number.
I think that's right.
Yeah, because it was separate before, but yeah, I think it is in there now.
I would remove the stipend of $5,000. That was not well spent money.
Right.
All right. I'm fine
Didn't
with
we
that.
didn't we remove it above in the line above?
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
here. It's
correct.
here. We already did that.
Well, then how did that number get up so high?
I don't, this number
That's a
here,
good
I didn't
question.
do. I think this came to us this way. I'd have to
So
go back.
I would reduce the,
so
I would reduce it by the 5,000 then.
yeah,
Another
reduced
five.
by
So
I would
we,
make the motion that we reduce the
it's still higher
58.4
than last year. So, okay.
yeah.
to 53.4.
Okay. So Bill moves, we reduce 109-120 treasurer clerk wages from 58,400 to 53,400. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. Kim seconds.
I just did
Further
a
discussion, anybody?
calculation and I think it's okay. I think it'll work.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Lisa.
the input.
Yep.
All right. Again, I'm just going to go in my list in order. Bill,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Louise,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. So we're going to 53,400 reduced by 5K. Okay, you got that, Lisa, for notes
Yes.
purposes? Okay,
Yep.
great. All right, I don't think there's much else here
That's it.
to work with. Right, this is contractual stuff, I believe. I don't want to. This is a contract. I mean,
That's a good point. Can I ask one quick question of Lisa? Lisa, did you look at the union increase on the assistant clerk or assistant treasurer?
No, but I have it with me. Hold on.
Because that's something that we have to make. I know the increase isn't $5,000, but the increase is probably in the 3% range.
Let me just
So
get
we
the
need
right
to make sure that we have that covered.
contract out.
Sorry about that.
All right.
okay, appreciate it. Don't want to get it wrong.
Let me find the rates.
We could probably adjust the hours slightly if we needed to make it work.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Assistant to a treasurer. No, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, well, I hope it's okay. We haven't done any final negotiation, so I think it's reasonable what the rate is.
We'll make it work.
We'll make
Okay.
it work.
All right, let's try to keep moving.
Nothing really there.
Nothing. There's not much here.
Nothing there.
I mean, it's often the case in the town ops budget that there's not a ton. We talked about this extensively. We got more just to do on elections. We got a bunch of 3% in here. I can't find myself getting too worked up about that.
Nope.
Payroll services. Remind me, Lisa, we were talking about
ADP.
right.
Yeah.
Is this going to cover that?
What did we say that it was gonna cost 1,000 increase because we're not gonna use the time clocks and they would do the first 6 months for free? I'm
that should
still
cover it.
trying to make arrangements with them. I haven't been able to connect with them.
Right. Okay.
But
And they were
that's what the cost was gonna be. It was what, 20, about 2,400 to use the clocks, and we wouldn't use the clocks. And then the first 6 months were free, so it ended up costing 1,000 more than what we were at. So it was an increase of 1,000, but it wasn't a huge increase.
I
Yeah,
mean, at least in this line, we're not up 1,000. We're up $184. So
right.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But I will say, I am finding more and more problems with the payroll service. So I really
Going to
don't.
ADP is going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
So does the 2184, I guess
Yeah, the question is
does it
this functional?
cover
Is this number functional?
if we, yeah, because if we come in July and we start using it
Just
and we get 6 months free,
just leave it for this cycle.
just
And
leave it for the cycle.
it's
Okay.
only if it's going to go up, it's going to go up less than $1,000, and we'll be able to figure that out.
We'll
Right.
figure it out if we have to take it for contingency or whatever.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Good deal.
Fair enough.
Right. I think that's fair.
Okay. I mean, this is just insurance. It is what it is.
Can you go back up just a little bit?
Can you go backwards?
Can you go back up a little bit?
Yeah.
Right there.
How far back?
Right. Well, for me, that was
Keep
Too
going.
far?
Keep going up backwards. Okay. I just need to make everybody aware when you get to janitorial services for the town, we need to look at that line item.
again, we're looking for an increase for, I forget the person's name that does that, right?
No. There's
Oh.
a change, Bill. He announced that he's moving to North Carolina. So the
Oh, crap.
changes that we were looking at doing, I mean, listen, we're going to have problems, honestly, with that position trying to fill it. Matt and I were talking about it, but we want to look at the line item to understand what we didn't go to.
Supplies. We don't have. I wonder where it's under, but we'll find it.
Should have been under facility maintenance, but it's.
Yeah, it may be under there. We'll find it.
It's in a strange category, I think, down on the bottom. I'm almost positive.
This is
Okay.
the
We'll get
person
there.
that did a fabulous job and didn't
Yep.
do much.
Yeah, that's too
Willie,
bad. He
right?
did an amazing
Willie?
job.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That is a bummer. And he did it for
Yeah.
for cheap.
It's going to be hard to replace that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I know
Do
there's
we
quite
want to talk about the community center, or I mean, we talked about it a fair bit already, but that's where
Well, I
we're
know
at on the chart.
there was an increase, I think, for more programming.
Yeah, and I think that the programming is maybe under senior stuff. It may be in
okay.
a different part. This is for the assistants. As
So
you can
this
see,
is-
this is where the meat of the increase is.
I think that's for more than one person though, isn't it? Does that also?
Includes dispatcher is my notes.
Dispatcher. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
it's
that's
kind
right.
of
Here
two
we go
things
with
in
that.
one. Correct.
Yeah. So it looks like a large increase, but it's more than.
It's two rolled together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can find my
It
notes.
Custodian is 4199B if you want to go back to that after this.
Okay.
Sorry, what is?
Custodian.
Custodian.
What was for? Sorry, what line?
Custodian.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. I found custodian.
Oh, I see. It's
Yeah.
still to come. Right. That's
Yes.
what I thought. Okay. Okay. Town garage is not much to talk about. That's down. Old town hall's nothing. Old firehouse, nothing. It's down. All right. So that's facilities. Okay. This is just 3% stuff, contracts. Plow blade. I mean, what are you gonna do? Custodian?
Yes, that's the one. Yep.
All right.
So we had really bumped it up to pay the person, and I'm sorry, I don't know his name, more in
Really?
line with what he deserves, but is that enough money, I guess, to hire someone to replace him? I don't know if Jeff, if you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because that's every town building. That's the library that we pay out of there. That's everything. So
It's almost a joke that amount.
well,
How many hours a week do we talk about here?
19.
He and his wife came in and tag teamed it, and they came one day, but they did such a good job that we're gonna see it.
We're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would tell you.
What that
I would
does, if
tell
that's
you.
a 19. Go on.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was sitting there thinking we might be able to reduce it, but we can't reduce that.
We can't
I
reduce
just sit
that.
there and go, I don't know how and how we'll get it filled.
No.
So
I mean,
all right.
that's 19 hours at 25 an hour. That's what that
Yeah.
is. you know, 14, 24, you know, 875 or something like that. So that 25,000 or that's all that gets you.
That's it.
So
we can't reduce it.
No.
I don't think I would want to reduce it either. I agree. And I mean, in terms of the increase, we're talking about $2,000 here.
And what did you say that was 19 hours at how
But
much?
yeah, that's what I'm just thinking. That 19 hours, I'm thinking of payroll and I pay him like 20 hours, but I believe that's for 2 weeks. So he might only be 10 hours a week. I would have to check payroll, but that I don't know why I'm thinking that. Does that sound right, Jeff?
But we're actually getting two people.
Yes, we are.
We are. So I
Yeah.
thought we were getting him one day in the town offices, and it's just not. We're not gonna be able to fill it because he also gets down to the library, and they tag team it. So it's two people that are coming in and working at the same time. And Lisa, I don't know. Are you paying him as an employee? We're not paying him as an employee, are we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the hourly rate? At 19 hours at how much? 20?
I think
It's
we
20
figured at 25, didn't we?
Yeah, but that was, like I said, that was for 19 a week. I honestly don't think it's 19 a week. I think I'm just thinking off the top of my head when I do payroll that it's like 19 or 20 hours, or 22. It's close to that, but that's for 2 weeks. I would have to take a look.
That's okay. You're not going to be
I
able
think
to
it's
do any better.
yeah.
If you guys
And
want to
that's
focus on that,
like Jeff said, the point is there's two of them.
Yeah.
There's not, that's just one person. There's two
We're
of
gonna
them.
we're gonna hire a new person. We're gonna need to be able to
pay them,
fund that.
Great.
Okay. I would move on, honestly.
Yes.
Okay. There's really nothing here to talk about. I mean, again, 3%.
I'm sorry.
The trooper, I mean, we don't find out right until we're into the year,
No,
usually.
that's right. That's the amount. We were
that
given
is the
the
correct
amount.
amount.
Yep. On time this year.
Okay, we already
Nice.
talked about that then. It is
Yep.
what it is. I'm not going to go on that crusade again. Okay.
Nope.
Moving on. We talked about that. This needs to happen. This is required. We basically no choice here, if memory serves. It's the animal control situation. We have to pay what we're being billed. So yeah. So senior citizen public welfare. I think this is, Bill, when you were talking about programming. That's what it is.
quite a steep increase in programming. And
Right.
as much as I support the community center and the programming, in a year like this, we might have to, I think, consider something here.
Yeah,
I think we
don't
do too.
disagree.
I mean, I hate to, but it's a big increase for 1 year. In a year, we're looking at we got to do some trimming.
Yep.
Those are all the new programs that Tess is incorporating into this new year. Everybody wanted Tess to increase the programming, and that's what she did.
I agree with Scott.
I will
mean,
say, I talked to Tess about it because I think, Bill, you brought up that there were art classes for youth and for seniors.
Mhm.
And I think what she relayed to me was she wanted to get some of that youth in there. So she may have use some of that for a youth class, art class, but the other two art classes were for seniors. And I think those are between 300 and 500 a piece. So it's not a huge deal, but I don't know if she's on. I guess she's not on tonight, but she was trying to do like I don't know if Jeff said that people asked her to do stuff, so she was trying to do that.
I think we should try and reduce it by 5,000. I mean, I get she's got stuff that she's got planned. We don't have a lot of places to cut.
That's the
I
town.
would
I
like to leave
agree.
it.
Well, listen, we can
I
work with Tess to try to increase her fees for that. And I do realize that that impacts seniors, but it is more of a pay for play. It's what we should be doing in the entire town, asking groups to sit there and increase the fees they're charging for specific services. So I don't have a problem with you cutting this line item. I don't want you to eliminate it, but I do have no problem with the $5,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big jump. I'm gonna make a motion to cut this line by 5 grand.
I'll second it.
All right, Liz moves to cut 145,870 program senior citizen by $5,000. That would take it down from 12,805 to 7,805.
No, you're in the
No,
senior lunch
no.
line.
It would take it down to 11,805.
Yeah.
Yep.
16.
Sorry. You're right. Let's do that again. I was looking at the variance. My fault. From 16,805 down to 11,805. Thank you, guys. Wrong column. All right.
I have a question on that
We didn't
before
vote
we-
on that, though.
Yeah, Louise, go ahead.
Yeah, does that include the software that they're getting for the programming?
No,
I
the
thought
software,
that's
the software
somewhere.
is the software is taken care of.
It's a separate
Okay.
item.
Okay.
Isn't it supposed to go down to? Wait, I don't see the change made.
You didn't
I haven't
change
made
it.
the change.
He hasn't made the change yet, but we
Still
haven't
talk-
voted.
Okay,
We're in
sorry.
discussion. We're in discussion.
We're in
Okay, sorry.
discussion.
All right, thanks. Sorry. So I'm
It's
not
all good.
crazy. I'm not crazy. Well, maybe I am crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that not because of that. All right. Does
Plenty
anyone
of
else
other
have any more
reasons.
commentary before we do take a vote on this one?
Yeah, I think Jeff made a good point to increase the fees for people to just walk in and take those classes. That may make up for it.
All right. Okay. I'll go around. Bill,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Louise,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
and Kim.
no.
Kim's a no. And I'm a yes. So that's 6-1. And we're gonna take this to 11,805. Reduced 5K 5, 6, 26. I should have that. All right. Okay. Lisa, you got a running tally of the cuts we're making, right?
Yep.
What are we at now? We made a couple of two, 3 small cuts. We're at maybe 15,000.
15,000, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean,
I know.
we're getting about to as far as I really wanted to go, but we're gonna get to capital too. I don't think there's much in here we can
I know
mess
we
with.
talked about it. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Nick.
I know we talked about it before, but the lunches what was the reason for the lunch fee?
Oh,
Because it seems,
the increase in the lunches. They would.
yeah,
I think she was adding more of them.
she
If memory
was.
serves.
But are we charging as well too? I'm just
We
wondering.
charge, but we charge. I think they get charged. What is it?
$5 or something.
$6 bucks a head, something like that.
$5 a head.
It's
$5.
5. Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
why I thought 6.
It just seems like
Somewhere here
yeah.
I had notes from Tess, but I've lost them.
If you go out to dinner, how much everything is increased?
Yeah.
There's no
That's not a big,
increase.
that's not a big increase.
There's
to
no
take care of
No,
this
it's not an
fac-
increase. It was an increase from last year, guys.
But
Yeah.
I'm looking at it compared to the actuals.
From the year before last, rather.
No,
I'm sorry.
he's looking at it compared to what is reported in the current line item through January, and that's.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't
Well,
know when that
yeah.
was.
This
It's
is
next line,
the
column
exact same
G.
budgeted amount for last year.
No,
correct?
no. He's right. Nick is right. He's looking at column G.
Well, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I
That was
double
through
that,
January.
we're
Yeah.
still we could still potentially save $4,000.
Do you want me
Correct.
to see what it is now?
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is an old figure. Where are we
Correct,
at
but
now?
I don't, Nick, and this is just me. I don't trust all of the line items and where everything is put. That's me, and on those types of items, because you got to remember those are coming from the community center and sorry, some issues. Yeah, I lost my screens above, so my face got dark. So Nick, while I understand what you're looking at, and you could sit there and cut that slightly, I don't think that that's the area I would cut. Just
Yep.
They're up to 6,200 right now, and don't forget, there's also
Not
that
even close.
extra fundraiser line that I don't think they've really dug in too much. That's in the L account. There's a senior lunch L account.
That makes sense to me. I'm just saying if we could highlight it or something, if I don't know what the thoughts are on that. It makes sense to me. I'm okay with it as is. I just think if we're looking, if we had you said $6,000 and what's the period of performance for that 6,000? Is that like halfway through the calendar
To
year?
get through April.
No, that's
3
through.
quarters.
Let me go back to it. That's like pretty up to date, like right now.
Okay.
6,200.
Yeah.
So if you project that out for 2 more months or May, June, right?
Yeah, you're looking at an $8,000 total, but maxed out run rate. So we
Right.
got 4,500 extra in there.
Well, and I'm just making everyone aware, we have the kitchen project that has to happen next year, and that's going to increase the utilization on the kitchen and all the costs related to the kitchen and what goes into the lunches. So you can make a cost reduction on that. It's just not an area that I think I would want to go at because we haven't done a good job on. We're trying to do a better job on utilizing the community center, but it's one of the few things our seniors really get from us.
I'm fine leaving it alone. I mean,
yeah, I'm okay leaving it.
It's $4,000. It's
we can talk about it next year if we're coming in
Yeah.
under again.
Yeah.
But I think I'd leave it, guys.
Yep.
Can I ask where we are, Lisa, on senior trips this year? What are we up to on senior trips? Because as of January, it only looked like 249.
Yeah, it's still only around $600 that we've spent on senior trips. Again, I believe there's an L account for that, but I don't think there's a lot of money in it.
What does that mean, Lisa?
Yeah, what does that mean, L account?
Well, as far as I can tell, and maybe Jeff can correct me, but if the town doesn't put these funds in the budget to do these items for the basketball for the kids, for the seniors for lunches, there's fundraising that's gone on, and they're in this separate savings account that's not in the budget, that if they run short or they want to use that for a special lunch or a special basketball program, they can go get that out of that fund. It's not in the budget and it's not town money. It's money they've raised. As far as I know, I mean, I'm not used to this, so maybe somebody can make it clearer, but that's what I can tell.
Do we know what's in that? Did you just tell us and I forgot already?
No, I only have an idea because I haven't been able to reconcile those L accounts. We have like 25 of them, including all the grants and all that.
Oh,
yeah, in the school and the capital. And
Okay.
I just haven't had a chance. I did the capital, but that's as far as I got.
Well, what have you been doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Twiddling my thumbs.
Okay.
Lisa,
Yeah.
it's Louise. Isn't there one for the fire department too? They do fundraisers that took care of their ambulance cost?
Totally different animal.
That's what I was going to
Oh,
say.
different?
Not in
Okay.
these. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
What she's addressing is if I made a donation to the lunch program, it would go into the L account.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It needs to be presented differently. And that's one of those items where any of these items, because what Nick was doing is 100% what you guys should be doing, is looking at the expenditures currently to date and sitting there and determining if we're going to spend that much money and reduce those line items if they can be. And there's some items that if we just talk through it, we shouldn't reduce because we should be doing a better job of utilizing those funds to improve services. So, but on the question of what is going on school lunch, it's if somebody makes a donation or there's money raised from the lunches, they would be sit there and put into an L account and Nick, and I'll say this potentially, because what I'm believing is that some of the money collected on the lunches has gone to offset the lunch expenses. So I don't believe that that's all the lunch expenses. I believe that's potentially the lunch expenses offset by the collections from the seniors. So if you wanted to cut that, you could, but it's all a question of what are our priorities and what do we want to take care of.
Mhm.
So
If you want to hear, you want to hear my suggestion on that, you leave the senior lunch program alone. There's a lot of people that go to those senior luncheons, and I go to them pretty frequently, and I don't see anybody on this call hardly at all that are participating in those senior lunches.
Okay.
I'm
no,
there.
Louise
I'm
could.
there.
Thanks, Scott.
Louise could when it's done.
Lisa's
Look,
down
I've
there.
gone to a
we got to
few.
I don't
keep
see
this. We got to
anybody
keep this
else,
tight. I
and
appreciate
you
your
guys are
comment.
going
I don't
after
think we're
their
going to cut
lunches.
it. Just let's move on, and let's keep it tight. We got to keep it to the board, and we can get to more commentary later. But no, I don't think. I think we've talked that one through, guys.
I think we move on.
Unless there's somebody who's really hot to trot and wants to make a motion, I think we move on. Okay. I was
So
down at the
here's
rec commission.
right. Now we're on the rec commission.
Right. And I mean, it looked to
Oh,
me like we were expending, this looks right, and this was only through January. So I don't know if this is increased, Lisa, but it was looking more or less correct. And we had a specific request for you know, a registration fee and an additional concert. That's the entire $1,400 increase.
So
So
what is the WICSC? Can somebody remind me what that is?
I don't remember the
I don't think we
acronym.
ever found out. Would have to ask Carol, I guess.
I mean,
sent an
I
email
feel
to
like I
Carol.
asked that question and the answer was so confusing. I really couldn't
Can you slide
sort that
over?
out.
What is that saying? I mean,
Registration for
okay.
Potentially, it was a shared
Isn't that,
cost
listen,
between.
yeah, isn't that related to the software program? Because the Rec Commission was trying to help the community center with the computer program to do the calendar for the fields and for the basketball court.
But then I thought that Tess indicated that she had received a grant that was going to pay for that, if I recall it correctly.
And you may be right on that, Kim.
So I was
Two.
really confused by what that all, like why that was there. That's my recollection of that meeting.
They were going to split that money, I think, and the Recreation Commission was going to use some of the software, some portion of the software.
But
I don't think
Tess
it's an
had
amount that we have
received
to
a
I
worry
grant.
found my
about.
notes from talking to Tess. I don't see a specific. I mean, sorry, not Tess. I don't know what the acronym stands for. It's not a lot of money. I think we are likely to spend that line item. Lisa, I don't know if we have an updated year to date on this, but I don't see like this is a fertile ground for
No,
us to be cutting.
I think we
I
should
don't
move
know.
on.
I kind of disagree.
Okay.
I personally would like to see it stay the 6,000. Only because we are so tight. And I personally, I sent an email and a text message asking for like a detailed breakdown, like what is all this for? And I didn't get a response. And I followed up and I didn't get a response. And I don't know, we paid 24-25 actuals, $5,000. Is it necessary to have an additional concert? I'm not sure. I don't know. I would make a motion to keep it $6,000, just under the current circumstance with us facing this budget crunch.
All right. Liz moves to reduce 603,870 programs from the Rec Commission from 7,400 down to 6,000. That's a $1,400 cut. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Louise seconds. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll go ahead and take a vote. Bill,
I wish I knew more about the WICSC. I'm going to say no, just because I really don't understand it. So
okay. Liz, your motion. So
Yes.
Liz is a yes. Louise?
Yes.
Okay. Kim?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
There's a yes. Nick?
Yes.
I'll vote no. I don't know. I don't like it. Okay, so that I passes 5-2. Unless I missed anybody. Back to 6K. Ah, all right. All right. There's not much more here. These are percentage wise, but they're tiny numbers. We specifically added this last time. Anybody? All right. I mean, unless there's stuff in here, these are tiny numbers. I personally would leave them. We can talk about capital again. As you guys know, we made some adjustments last time, or in the budget process. Um, my personal gut feel is I would rather take from unexpended fund balance than cut some of these, but I'm open, I'm flexible on that. Uh, I don't, there are some funds here I'd really rather not touch. Um, but I want to hear your thoughts. If anybody has ideas of, where we could find a cut, then okay.
And we don't have those balances in front of us either, do
We
we?
had a rough draft from Lisa a while back.
We should have put those in that memo column back when we
I
were working
know.
on this.
You're right. That's a really good point.
I have
But
it
I
in
don't.
front of me.
Oh, you do? Can you give
Yeah.
us the balances and we put them in the memo column right now by any chance?
Let me look. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right one. New outlays. Okay. Now, don't forget, this was as of February. Is that when we did this? Let me see. All right.
Close enough.
Let's see. It's been a long time since I looked at this. Let's see. Reserve Bank.
No, closely.
Okay. Fiscal year to date balance. All right. On the reval, let's see, is 63,847. And
of course, we need to save
contingent is 39,104.
39,104.
Multi-use building
Really? Okay.
is 450,544.
Wait, how much is in the multi-use building fund?
450,544.
450,544. I'm sorry, it cut out on me. I heard 50 and was like, what?
I heard that too.
I did too.
I was like, that's not right. Okay, go on. Go on.
Fire, let's see, the fire. Oh, the sale of asset was a question with that, but it stands at 413,054. Let's see. Public Works, 130, 230. Road improvements, 688,085. Tree removal. There was a little issue with going back and forth with the tree, because remember transfer station and the tree, it was to be determined. I wouldn't count on more than 14,000. Building maintenance.
Yeah,
23,759.
Building
That's bridge and
maintenance. That's
culvert.
bridge and culvert, but hang on, what was building
Oh,
maintenance?
I have building maintenance 23,759.
Wrong line. No, I'm sorry. You're good.
No, I got it.
Yep.
Bridge and culvert.
Bridge and culvert.
Oh, bridge and culvert. I didn't get to bridge and culvert. That's why you can't see it, because that wasn't listed. It was listed over in the grants. It wasn't listed in capital.
It was in, yeah, I mean, it's in the audit.
It's with all the grants, and so I didn't get into that.
It's
I
in the
didn't
audit. It's a
reconcile
healthy
that.
number, but we need a lot in there. I want to say we had we were pushing 600K, but I'd
But
have
I
to go
had
back to
determined, what payments had been made, and yeah,
That's not one we can fund that we can mess with.
no,
It's
yeah.
I don't want to mess with that anyway, right?
Let's see.
how about the open
The
space?
building maintenance was 23,759.
Yeah.
The AES capital is
Mhm.
496,871.
Right. And we just approved 220 to come out of that for the bathroom project.
Yeah, and
Open space.
open space. That one is off also. I'm showing 41,000, but I can't guarantee that. So I couldn't
right.
get that one to reconcile.
Okay. The other thing I'll mention with road improvement, we never show, I know in the audit, it lists another fund, the Town Aid Road Fund. And I assume that's where we put our Town Aid Road money. And I remember there being a balance in there, but that, we don't have to get in too far into that. I would expect we're going to start, if we haven't already, as the weather has warmed up, we're going to be expending from here.
And don't forget, I mean, these are something I did, I did as best as I could. I took what I could find and put this together with the audit. I matched it to the audit and what was in QuickBooks, and this is what I could find. So, but I'm pretty sure that these are, relative to what's in there.
All right.
And it was a couple, 3 months ago?
Yeah. Does anybody know what does it cost us to do revaluation? I mean, we have 63,847. Does anybody know what the cost is to do the revaluation?
And the thing is, our reval got pushed back a year, didn't it?
It did. So we're actually in the 6th year. So I'm just wondering I don't know if Jeff or somebody else on the line knows what it actually costs us to do that.
It cost him. He's gotten quotes for like $66,000 last couple times in that ballpark.
And we have to do it next year, right?
Next year. So I'm sorry, Jeff, you said 40 grand? I'm
66?
sorry.
66.
So
So in
theory,
addition
we
to-
could make a minor cut there, but it's about right. It's a little
about right then.
It'll be
We
a
should
little
leave that
over,
one.
but we also have to start refilling it afterwards.
Yeah, we gotta leave that one.
So what is the fund balance? Like we also have a fund balance?
We have our unassigned fund balance. It's 2.1 million.
Yes.
If you look at the audit, that's the unassigned fund balance was 2.1, which they calculated at 15.1%. And obviously that's a moving target because if you change the outlays, then you change your operating budget, then obviously that number can shift. But that's what we were at. We were at 2.1 million.
And
I mean,
what is
that's
the
where
first? What
that's
is,
where I would say we could bring that down. We could take 100,000. We'd still have $2 million. I think we'd still be in good shape.
what is the percentage that they like us to have?
Between 12 and 15% usually.
Between 12 and 15.
I mean, do you remember that meeting we had where it was one of Eric's last meetings where he was talking to us about new guidance from the state on that? How they were saying they wanted 2 months, which is, 1/6, which is a little higher than that. But I think, honestly, we're in a pretty good place there. But I wouldn't want to go crazy. I think we could take a modest amount and reevaluate next year. But
Yeah,
I
I think-
don't want to, I don't want to reduce it a lot.
I think the fact that we have no debt, I mean, this is just my common sense brain. Since we have no debt, I think we're in pretty good shape in that department. Right? I mean, if we had a lot of debt, then I think we might have to go on the higher side of that that unassigned fund balance, right? I mean,
Right.
am I thinking right?
Yeah, I mean it's also it's just about it's a massive contingency figure, and in case of all sorts of possibilities. Thankfully, knock wood, I've never seen us in an emergency situation where we had to tap it, but I like to stay within the guidance. If in that 12 to 15% range, I'd like to be in there, maybe even a touch higher if I had a perfect world, which we don't have. But I really do think we could stand to use a little bit of it to just help this year, help cushion things a little bit, and reduce that tax increase.
So I agree with that, but we're still in this section right here,
Mm-hmm.
capital. So I'm just and nobody jump out of their seats here. On the tree removal fund, which I'm 100% for, and I know that we need that. But are we spending 50,000 a year, and how do we get up to have 140,000? Am I right?
No, that was
That's
14.
She said 14,000.
Oh, 14,000 is
14,
left.
14.
I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up now. Forget that whole.
It's all good.
Good try, Bill.
I don't think we have a ton in there. You know,
No, I leave that alone. I thought I said
Yeah.
140,000. I looked at it quick. I was like, what? Okay, never mind.
Do we have do we have a lot of tree removal left to do? Like, I feel like they've been doing a lot of work on it already.
It's been a multi-year process where we've really caught up.
Caught up.
And the way it worked, the way Eric had it working was we had a deal with Eversource where we would mobilize in the same day, partner up with them, and get a lot done. So it's been very successful. I don't know, and I think my gut feeling on this, what I would say is I'd love to see Matt be in there for a year and get his arms around everything, and then talk to us next year about, do we need to maintain at that level, or are we at such a point where we could back it off slightly? But I think personally, I think we've made such strides. I think it's been worth every penny. I don't know about you guys, but there was a stretch there where I seemed to lose power every time we had a storm, and now things are just dramatically better.
Well, that's why I was asking. Like,
Yeah.
have we caught up or not?
No.
It's a really good
No.
question. I don't know the answer to the question off the top of my head. So
we're not at all, Rob. And the tree warden has already spent a lot of that money and the money for this year.
And
All
I
right?
would
And
say that I've
he
already had
has the
2
plans.
trees come down within the last month on Bear Swamp.
Okay. Well, I'd leave it alone then.
If you
I don't
drive
want to mess with
around
it.
town, you will see there's still a lot of dead trees around the town, and so I'm not really in favor of cutting that this year.
I agree.
I agree with Bill. I mean, tree
agree.
removal is so expensive. It's shocking how
Hey,
much it costs.
Lisa, one
Yeah.
thing, I mean, we got to come back on this at some point because I could have sworn there was a little more money in the open space fund than $41,000. But
Rob, I remember
we
around 237, I think.
that
40
sounds right. That sounds right.
Yes, the 41,000 is what's in QuickBooks. And I said it like was to be determined because the bank balance, you're right, says 234, but I didn't have a chance to go back and reconcile, is that the correct amount? And why is it so different than QuickBooks?
All right.
So
All right. Again,
that's what I'm trying to
I
figure
don't think
out.
it's an egregious amount. I think I'd leave that too. I mean, we added a little more money back in there, but because we had cut it a couple of years back. So I mean, last year. So I think restoring some of that funding is good. We're not all the way back up to the 50K that we put in
Used to be.
24,
Yeah.
25. So I don't really want to do anything there. Bridge and culverts we've talked about repeatedly. I just feel like that's a fund where we could put every dollar we could scrape together and we need it.
Yeah, and the money's been
So-
calculated out, Rob. The money has been calculated out for the number of projects that we have and what they're going to cost and when they're planned to be done. So you really can't touch
No.
bridge and
Nickel of
culverts.
that.
No.
You can't touch it.
No, I wouldn't.
It has to be funded at that rate for the next years because it's going to be done in, I
Right.
think,
Yes.
28.
Yes.
Right.
So-
the work's already been lined up, so you can't
Yep.
mess with that number.
The only other thing was, when we on our public works, we have a new director, but I want to revisit their capital plan at some point to see whether this is the appropriate funding level for public works equipment. We don't have a ton in there. So, I'm not necessarily in favor of cutting that either. It is a place we could tweak, but, because we do have some money in there, but it's not a lot. And I don't, I think we've done a decent job of getting our equipment more up to date, but needs come up. So, uh,
Equipment's
we did,
expensive, but we
You
do
know,
have a lot of new.
Jeff, do you have
We have new
thoughts?
trucks. We have new
yeah,
tractors, mowers, but
I know that Liz said we don't have any debt, but this is one of the areas where we do have debt on the plow truck that we purchased, and that money is to pay the financing.
Every year.
Yeah.
Right. And similarly, we have the tanker truck that we're paying off.
Yeah,
The
those two line items are loan payments or lease payments, however you want to categorize.
Lease payments.
So the majority of
Yeah.
that 125 for Public Works is for the lease payment on the last plow truck we bought.
Right.
And remember, they were not supposed to get any additional money until that plow truck was paid off.
All right. Well, we already nipped and tucked here. I'm loath to reduce anymore, but if anybody has anyone on the board disagrees with me, speak now.
Well, I think we got to go to the next subject where Liz was talking about earlier. And we all were, and that's, the fund that we have $2.1 million sitting there. And I think we could use $100,000 of that money.
I would like to, yes, to try and help here.
I'd like to add one other thing. The community garden, can we look at that again?
We cut it
We
last
cut
time.
it pretty heavily, but
yeah, we did.
Well, it was cut because of the $600 for seeds, which is a bit.
I thought it was $300.
We cut it by 300 and some odd so that we could put
Okay.
that money toward the DMV lookup
Right,
issue.
right. But what's the rest of the budget?
I think there's a irrigation. Isn't there something that has to be finished with the irrigation?
I don't see it in there.
From what I remember.
It's near the rec. It's near the rec commission.
Yeah, it's 4503 is rec.
And I know what's his name came on. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now. He came on and talked extensively about, what that money was
Did I go
for.
too far?
I think yeah.
Sorry, these are just not in.
Jeff Ballard. He came on and talked pretty extensively about, I think it's the irrigation system, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And beds. I don't remember if they were putting in more raised beds. I forgot.
And he said something about didn't he say something about a rototiller and you offered to give him one?
Yeah, I know. I need to get back to him on that. I really do have one.
I think he bought one.
He bought one.
All right.
He bought one.
Okay.
I said, I got one I could give you. Oh well.
Can you
sorry,
slide
I'm
over
having trouble
to the
finding
left
it.
of the? There it is. We can't see the left-hand
column.
column.
Yeah,
Which column are you looking for, guys?
It was
can't see the
community
left.
garden. It was up above. Oh no, it is.
It was right in the middle.
Where was it? Yeah, it was right in the middle.
This is such a small figure.
Right under library. And before Memorial Day, before Selectmen.
Memorial Day. So did I already pass it?
I think you did.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
I
Sorry,
saw
guys.
Go slower. Just go so you can read
I
it.
know. I apologize.
Bob, you're zippy.
I'm trying to get through this.
Go down to boards and commissions.
Yep.
Which is near the end.
Stop.
There.
Ho.
Okay.
See,
1680.
We cut them from last year, so I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming part of it was this number, but we were in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, and they spent it last year. Look at this 5124.
I know, but I feel that we should cut a little bit more because I'm not seeing the community service type of thing coming from this. It's more individual. And I don't feel comfortable paying our money to just like 3 or 4 people.
All right, you want to make a motion?
I mean, the gardens are there, which are beautiful and very nice for people to use, but
they're all 6 of them are empty.
I guess, and I guess, is it the town's job to subsidize gardens for a handful of
Individuals.
people? I guess is kind of my question. That's kind of my question.
I'd like to make a motion to reduce the budget from 3180 to 2180. To take
$1,000
$1,000.
cut.
Yes.
All right. Louise moves to reduce 603,890 community garden by $1,000 from
These are hard
3180
times.
to 2180. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Liz seconds. Do we have any further discussion? All right, I'll just go in order. Liz,
Yes.
Bill,
No.
Nick,
No.
Louise,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Heather,
No.
and I'm a no. So that motion fails 3-4. We leave it at 3180. We can revisit it next year. We'll see what happens. Can we go back to, let's go back down. Unless there's something else in particular. So we were at capital. I think we've kind of talked through this. Unless there's a motion somebody wants to make, I just don't see anything here I'm really comfortable cutting. So I don't have a motion here.
Yeah, so it looks like the cuts that we made brought us down to the town side a 5.59.
Yep.
From
Oh, thanks, Liz.
6.12.
5.59 expenditures town, yes.
Yep.
Right. For a total decrease tonight of 16,783. Is that right?
I think
So
you're right.
it was.
Where'd you get the 783? I
had
I don't know,
6,900.
got 15.
I mean, 15, sorry, 16.
16.4, no?
16.4. 16.4.
That's
Sorry,
what I
I was
got.
doing bad math.
Where'd you get the 783, Liz?
Well, I just took the original budget and I subtracted where we are now, which is 3,34954. So my initial starting point might be wrong because it was 3,363,737. That's probably where.
Oh, that's a different number. Yeah.
Can you just go to
Is that wrong?
slide up, Rob, to the rec commission again? Because that's the other change. What's that number?
The 1,400?
Right there.
This was a $1,400
Yep.
reduction.
Was it
So
1,400 or 12?
14, because it was at 74.
cut back to 6K.
Back to 6K.
I should have said
Yeah.
minus 1,400.
Okay.
So that I know what the heck it was. But yes, it was 1,400 because they had asked for 7,400.
Yep.
So that's how you get to 16.4.
Okay, so 16,400 is the total difference. Anyways, the point is, and I do have one, as I say to my husband. So we're down to a 5.9% increase, which is balanced out with a minus 2.92 from the capital. What does that net out?
Well, I mean, we'd have to go to the other chart to see the impact on taxation, but I can tell you that every $100,000 is about 1% of a tax increase, right? So if you cut 16, you've cut, about 1/6 of 1% out of the tax increase. So we have more to do. I mean, if we have the almost 100 from the state, if we take 100 from fund balance, that's like 2% with addition to what we just did. So instead of being at a 6.7 tax increase, we'd be about 4.7 at that.
Val had mentioned that there was another $50,000.
Well, yeah, I thought it was 49,000 was my understanding. Okay, so what it is either 25-26 budget, a 24-25 budget. Apologies, the AAS 24-25 budget, the one that is in the audit that's about to be completed. They had an underspend there, whereas they have an overspend this budget cycle. But last year they had an underspend. They can put money in the 2% non-lapsing, but it's capped, obviously. So if you net it out, they put in, I think it's 87,000 or so they can put into 2% non-lapsing. The remaining figure of the underspend was $49,000, which could be returned to the town. The original thought on the Board of Ed was, well, could we put it in our capital fund? But now that we've had the bathroom project come in at half the cost we had feared, I think they're going to be okay with just saying, it comes back to the town.
Right.
So that's another $49,000
So add
from
that to
AES.
does that add it to income
Yeah.
at the
So
bottom?
if you think of it this way, right? I'm going to do just fuzzy math for a second. You have 98,000 from the state, you have 49,000 from AES, and if you guys agree with me, and take 100 from fund balance, right? You're just shy of 250.
And then you got the 16 that we just talked about that we just
Right.
add
So
that
you're
in there.
correct. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Put 16 more in there.
Yeah, yep. So, and then this is fuzzy math for a second because we'll do the right math when we go to the other chart. But you're a little over 250 there. If that's a 2.6%, you're coming from 6.7, so you'd be at 4.1 at that point. But before we do anything to the AS budget, and so that's the thing to talk about. Again, this is my suggestion for fund balance. We haven't actually passed that.
No.
I want to hear what other people think. If that's the right number, if you think it's too high, too low.
I think we should concentrate on AES right now and do our reduction with that and then look at the fund balance at that point.
I'm okay with that. We'll go in order.
I
mean,
agree.
the other thing to remember, that's the other thing, guys. We don't know what's going to happen here. What I would say is that I guarantee this number will fall. The RAM levy.
Right.
Right.
How
But
much?
we're talking
Now, that's the
RAM now. We're
question.
not talking AES. We need
No,
to
I just wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention that in context. Now we're going to talk about AES.
Okay.
But it's going to lower our overall burn.
Yeah, it's just I just
Absolutely.
wish we're just not
Absolutely. I
going to be able
agree.
to know what it is, unfortunately, until that night. Until they take action on Tuesday night.
Right.
So unfortunately, it's just something to keep in mind. So
Okay.
whatever you're thinking, whatever you want to think of as your target, just keep that in the back of your mind. That's all.
Mhm.
Just because I know you guys are talking about how to pay this, but the total town increase, if my numbers are right from what I'm reading at the bottom of this, so I take the municipal budget for last year, the municipal capital budget for last year, and then what you're currently being requested or what's being currently requested, it's $147,272 increase or a 3.51%. Just so you're all aware, because it's really hard to read the way that you guys, the way that this is set up.
Yeah.
So
Are you
I
saying
believe
in expenses, Jeff, or?
No, the expenses are right at 5.99, and then you have a negative 2.92 for capital budget. But if you just take them in total and you add the town municipal budget for last year and the capital budget for last year, you get 4.198433. And currently the request is 4,345,704. Difference is 147, 202, 272, or depending upon where I was trying to do this when Rob was moving the screen. So, but I'm coming to 3.51% increase is what is being proposed right now with the cuts that you guys made and where we're at.
Right.
I'm
The other
sorry,
thing
you
is,
said three.
Lisa, can you do me a
3.5.
favor while we're deliberating on AES and stuff?
Yep.
Can you send me the tax rate calculation chart again? The most
Mill
recent
rate?
one you've had.
Jody, you gotta,
Somebody
Jody
mute.
needs to
Everybody mute, please.
mute your phone, Jody. Jody,
Thank you. All right. Yeah. So Lisa, I want to make sure I have the most up-to-date one that we went into town meeting with.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's the one we're gonna need to flip to once we've sort of made our
Okay.
last changes here. So again, we just talked about how we made a slight 16 and a half thousand ish cut on the town side. I would just conceptually, my thought on this was, um, I was looking at the advisory questions, and I'm thinking, okay, a modest cut to AES as well, a little more than the town side because the advisory questions indicate more people thought it was high. But personally, I would be judicious here. I'd be cautious here. So I want to hear other people's thoughts. But when I was thinking about this, I was thinking, you know, a modest cut to the town, and then maybe 1.5, 2 times that for AES, and then see what the numbers with fund balance use and everything, and see what the number comes out at. And then if we don't like that number, we can journey onward. We can talk about doing more. But that's my thinking. That's just where I'm at. What do you guys want to do?
Well, we've already received about 100 and, well, not 150. How much for education
It's like
from,
163 we're at now, Bill, because this is my fund balance suggestion. We haven't done it. So we have the
no, but I'm saying for
49,000 coming back.
education, specifically for education, we
Oh, it was
picked up
80.
We're going to receive 80.
80,000 plus the 50,000 that we just discussed, the 49,000,
Yeah.
right? So that's 120. I just like to say
50,000,
that.
that's
So we've already reduced our burden on AES by 100 and something thousand dollars.
Yeah.
80 plus 49, right? 129, is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, the
So,
education money, yeah, it's bear in mind, that's AAS and RAM, but yeah. So the other way to look at it is, so far we're down 163, or down net it out down 163 in terms of what we need to raise in taxes because of um the various aid we've received and
Right.
the 16 0.4 that we made cuts.
So all I'm saying is if we did take the 100,000, like we talked about earlier from the fund, okay, the leftover fund, the 2.1, we took 100, that puts us at 263. I guess
Yeah.
my question is, what does the board feel our goal should be that we should get down to? What is a passable budget in the board's mind? What is our target?
so I have some thoughts, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the vote indicated people felt the AES budget was too high. So I'm not talking about what it's going to end up, how we pay for it. I'm thinking of the expenditures, and an 11% increase in expenditures, I think, is the problem. And I think we all knew it was going to be a problem. We tried to get them down to 7.5, and someone on the board rejected that. I think we got here in a couple of ways. Last year they had requested an 8%, I think, eight and a
8.8.
half.
8.8, and we gave them 5. So
We gave them 5.
5.5, I think, wasn't
no,
it?
5.
Uh,
Oh,
5
5.
even.
Okay.
Gave them 5, and they wanted the 8.8 to, well, one of the drivers was to hire 3.1 new FTE, 2 of which were school teachers for 4th and 5th grade, and 1.1 was for additional specials teachers and part of I think, math interventionalist. So when that was changed back down to 5%, they made minimal changes throughout the budget to meet that threshold, but didn't change their goals. So they still hired the people they wanted to hire. So now we're in a point where they hired the people, and now they want to hire another 6th grade teacher, which we can't tell them how to spend the money. I get that. I just want to kind of explain like a process that I went through to kind of because last time when I tried to make a recommendation, Bill said, "Well, how did you come up with this number? Like, what are you thinking about?" So I think that was a very good point, and so I kind of did some math and kind of came up with some thoughts. I personally, when you look at the enrollment that they have every year, it looks like there are 25 children right now in the fifth grade class. And I personally think hiring a sixth grade teacher right now for 25 students after this awesome sixth grade teacher has been handling more than that. I question that. But I also want to discuss, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse. I want to discuss the preschool because preschool does in fact affect the general fund because part of the increases for the FTEs were to increase some of the specials teachers. And that got me looking at like, well, what else does preschool affect? And if you look into the preschool pamphlet, so they use everything the school uses pretty much. They use the art teacher, gym teacher, music, speech, librarian, and I also believe the instructional tech person. We know that we are covering the benefits and FICA, that stuff. And then I would argue they're probably using the psych services, occupational therapy, PT possibly, and they're probably using a lot more. Okay. But those are some areas that I kind of concentrated on. And in past years, there were 2 preschool classes. And then there was a decision made to expand the preschool. For whatever reason, we won't know because that decision was made in an executive session. So we really don't know why. But when you look at the number of classrooms in the school, 4 out of 17 right now are preschool. So I did a little math and I looked at, okay, 4 out of preschool, and I divided. So I got a percentage. 4 out of 17 is 23.5%. And if you add up all those expenses that I talked about, the total of those expenses is $499,991, and 23% of that is $400,876. If you
Wait, are you sure about the math on that? Wait a minute. You said the total was
so the
500,000?
total of those items that I talked about is
Yeah,
400. Oh no, I'm
500.
sorry. I take that. No, no. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That was never mind. I'm wrong on that. I'm looking at the difference.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm wrong on that.
Can Liz, can I interrupt for 1 second just to
Sure.
make a point?
Yeah.
I really don't think the building is the building. No matter how many kids you have in that school, the building's the building. I'm not a believer in that kind of concept. What I am, and listen, I'll take responsibility for my letter and what I wrote, and I'm really honest about the whole thing. The lever that the school and the Board of Education have not sat there and pulled is the tuition that the families are charged, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I
Yeah.
am all
Yeah.
for a great quality preschool education for kids. I am. I just don't think that the community should be supporting that. And the information that the Board of Education receives on a monthly basis to sit there and say that's a financial breakdown of the pre-K program is not, oh, that's not it. I'm an accountant. I sit there, look at this stuff all the time, and I'm like, well, that's not what you need to provide. And so I'm a believer. I love the fact that they're utilizing the school and the classrooms, and they can do it. But you have 4 certified teachers, 4 paras, all the other services that Liz talking about. And if Scott Soyette is telling people in his information that the town is paying $100,000 for the pre-K, you can guarantee it's $300,000 to $400,000. So I'll just sit there and you just need to go over the numbers. You need the data. This is all I've ever been sitting there trying to say. People get mad at me in meetings and town meetings. Just provide the information and we can all make an intelligent decision for the best interests of everybody in the community. And that includes kids and seniors and everything else. But please just provide the info. So
Agree. So I guess my point is, in the original way it was, we had 4 employees there, right? 2 teachers, 2 paras. Now we have 8 employees. And I'm not talking about dividing up all the expenses of the school. The school is the school. But there are certain things that have increased because the amount of children have increased. So, I mean, you could save $190,000 by cutting back to 2 classrooms, and we would still be fulfilling the obligation that we have to special ed. We would still be providing a wonderful preschool to the community. That together with holding off on hiring a 6th grade teacher could save us $280,000. Because 2 rooms, 2 classrooms, and I'm not even
that'd be like 26, 27 kids per room. If you cut the, I mean, way no more than that.
Well, no, you would have to go back to the way you used to have. Like, why do we have to solve the problem of the preschool desert? Like
Okay,
Andover.
I'm talking about even if you removed all out of town kids, you'd still be in 50 some odd kids. Look,
because you can't remove those kids.
Can we?
They're part of the grant.
We have. You know,
I'm not,
Kate would
stop.
like to speak. Val would like to speak. Do you guys want to talk to the school board about this, or or you're building up to emotion here?
Well, I would build up to emotion, but
because I don't know if this is really accurate, but
I'm trying to
Can I just say something about the pre-K program as well? When I did a lot of research on different towns with pre-Ks, so Columbia, Connecticut has 2 pre-K classes. They collect, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 from the kids, and any money that they collect goes back to the town because it's run in a school building or a town-owned building. In Marlborough, Connecticut, they have half-day pre-K, and it's only open to Marlborough's kids, and it's free. If parents need pre-K to go to work or they want their kids, they pay for a private program called Mecca to utilize to pay. So there are instances where things are done a little bit differently.
I think that's a good question. I kind of would, I think we have some folks from the Board of Ed here that are probably educated in this, and I would like to pick their brain while they're on the call. If we could do that, I think Valerie raised her hand.
But I thought this was not public speak at this point. I think we need to make a motion and continue the motions.
We've had
and
such
continue our path as to
we
what
can
we need to
recognize
do for.
subject matter
Excuse me,
experts
Rob.
if we want.
Excuse me, Rob. We need to continue doing what we're doing as a board, trying to listen to the town people, stating that the school budget is way too high. We need to do an adjustment to that.
So we're just trying to get educated,
Louise,
Louise. All I'm trying to say.
Louise, can I interject for
We
one
need to
second?
educate ourselves.
Please include them in the conversation. It's the only way we'll ever get information.
Thank you.
I may not ever get information. I may not ever get the information I want, but your board should, because your board needs to make decisions on the town's behalf on how we spend the money. So if you don't get the information and the knowledge from the people at the Board of Education, if they don't ever give us the details, you can never make a good decision. You're going to be shooting in the dark right now with whatever change you want to make. So listen to them.
Okay, I stand corrected, and I didn't know whether that was proper rules to do.
We've been doing it all night. We've been calling on experts.
We can call on experts if we want.
Okay, I stand corrected.
I would suggest that we hear from Kate and we hear from Val on this issue. And then we should move forward with what Liz was building towards and actually entertain motions here. So if that's okay, I'd like to go ahead and call on Kate.
Or Val to explain the program.
I was going to go Kate first.
Hi.
Let Kate go.
So I'll be really brief. Just a couple of points to what Liz mentioned. So one of the reasons for expanding classrooms, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we changed the required age for entering kindergarten in the state of Connecticut to 5. So kids are in pre-K for years 3, 4, and 5. That happened a couple of years ago. So if you look at the increase in the classroom sizes, that explains why, because kids are now in pre-K for 3 years instead of 2. Additionally, you can't just look at the number of children in a pre-K program and divide the total estimated cost of something by the number of kids and say you're subtracting that amount from the budget for the services they use. The town is required to provide special education to any child who ages out of birth to 3 up until they reach going to kindergarten, which is age 5. So from age 3, 4, and 5, any kid who qualifies for special education, of which a lot of the services you mentioned, psychology, speech, OT, PT, all of those are considered special education. Those would be required to be given to those children free of cost until they reach kindergarten, regardless of whether or not we have a pre-K program. And we're actually taking advantage of grants to reduce the cost of that to the taxpayer by having a pre-K program. If we didn't have the program, the cost of those services for those children would actually be higher than it currently is and would be an increased cost in the budget. Aside from that, I'll let Val talk about more specifics for you guys.
Just so we're clear, I do understand that we are responsible for the special ed portion of it. I totally get that. I've never disputed that.
Right. So, but when you talk about like calculating a cost per child and subtracting a certain amount, it's not like apples to apples. You can't say the cost of each kid is the same. Just like you can't say the number of kids in a 6th grade classroom last year, which was, I believe, at 29 for the majority of the year. Those 29 kids are not the same 24 kids that will enter 6th grade next year, right? Like an IEP or a 504 plan has to be taken into account when you talk about how many kids can be or should be in a classroom. That's all.
Thanks, Kate.
Val?
Yep. So I'm a little confused about a few double standards, though, because earlier tonight we talked about needing some assistance on the town side to assist with jobs, to help Matt Streeter, to help other positions. And I think that's great. But now, Liz, I know you said, but if those teachers last year managed to do the same job with the same number of kids, let them do it again this year. So that I think is not fair to teachers, just because they were struggling through a very large class and doing an amazing job for a year doesn't mean that we should expect them to continue to do that impossible job forever. That I would like to say we have amazing teachers. About the increase in staff, from 2015 to 2020, we lost 6.5 staff members when the enrollment went down, and they didn't get them back. So when you speak last year of some changes over and above those 2 teachers, that was to start to get it back for our increase of K-6 students. When we did add a 4th grade and a 5th grade last year, that's 2 more gym classes, 2 more art classes, 2 more library classes. That has nothing to do with preschool. That had to do with the fact that we added another 4th and 5th grade class. 18 is what you're going to put in each of those each of those preschool classes. 2 classes is 36. That doesn't even cover the Andover kids that live in town. And if you've looked at other programs that are free or half day, they are fully special education programs, and they bring in no money, which means that there is a line item in that town's budget to cover at least the teacher and the para that are in the room, as well as other expenses. And we don't have that. I do think you said it right at the beginning when you said, I hate to beat a dead horse. And when we talk about tuition, the tuition issue is something that will be looked at just as soon as OEC and the State Department of Education in the next 24 months, 12 hopefully actually, decide what the changes to universal preschool are. At this point, they're building the plane as it flies, unfortunately, and we've got to kind of go with that. but we have the 4 classes. You couldn't put your Andover responsibilities in 2 classes, Liz. That just isn't going to happen. I do hope that during the course of this year, we'll have multiple workshops for parents and the community as that program at the state level gets rolled out further. We have a parent ambassador that will be doing that, Doris Maldonado, so that everybody understands the changes to the preschool program. The last thing I will say there, and then Rob, if you have a question, please by all means let me know. The tuition doesn't affect this because the tuition, no matter what, that is something a parent will get a tuition agreement this summer. They'll get a tuition agreement this summer and they'll know what they're paying moving forward, unless they're a grant slot. We don't even have all of the enrollment yet for next year. I couldn't tell you right now what the anticipated enrollment for next year is. I can tell you what we're working on right now for this current year, but we're still enrolling for next year right now. So I couldn't even tell you if it's going to be 250, if it's going to be 300. I have no idea. And we are better off to have the grants. Those are solid. Those are anticipated. Those are expected. We know what's coming in. So the last thing is, I don't like that we keep saying them, they. They're us. They are Andover residents. It's there's not anything wrong with them. At the beginning, when we say, well, they use the school, of course they do. So does pickleball, so does basketball, so do the town residents use our gym. Everybody does. They're us. They're part of us. They're Andover residents. So if there's any
You muted yourself, Val.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
lost you.
Any other
if there's
questions?
any other
So-
questions, but I don't see how this affects what we're doing right now.
I have two questions actually. One is, are any of the grant dollars used on out-of-town children?
No, the grant dollars are used on slots. It doesn't, the state, they're on slots.
Okay, so when you reduce tuition, none of the out-of-town students are getting reduced tuition.
Our out-of-town students know when they come there to fill a slot, they can't be special education because we would have to provide other services at the taxpayer expense. So we don't take out-of-town students that are special education, and they pay full tuition.
Okay, and then you said you can't give us a total number of students. You already know what your Andover kindergarten should be for next year, or reasonably close. Do you have any kind of idea? I mean, as to the number of students for Andover that'll be K through 6?
K through 6?
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Okay.
It's
What is it?
our current enrollment that's there now,
Mhm.
and the children that are moving up from pre-K to K. They're still doing screenings on waivers.
Okay.
So we should have a more permanent number, but at the end of May.
Okay, well, what's the number currently in K through 6?
In K through 6, what is it, 198?
192, I thought it was. Val,
Yeah.
did it go up?
I don't have it in front of me. I'm at home. But whatever
Okay.
the number is from the Board of Education packet that went out this week, that's the number.
All right, I'll have to double check, but I remember it being 192.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bill.
Bill?
Well, first of all, I think Liz should be able to finish her point, but then I would like to just ask 2 clarifying questions, but I think Liz.
Go ahead and ask your clarifying questions, then we can get on to making the motion.
I think my first thing is, maybe they're not questions so much as, but Val, as I was listening to Caitlin talk, it sounds as if we actually save money by having this grant and having this program, and taking out of town kids is all part of that grant. So if we didn't have it, the taxpayer would actually have a higher bill. There would be line items in your budget to pay for the pre-K program, but we don't have a line item in that budget because it is funded through the grant and the tuition. So there's not even a item that we can discuss in your budget because there is nothing in there for the pre-K program because we save money by the program that we have.
Correct. What Liz has referred to in the past is that it would be her preference to charge preschool program to use stuff in the building, staff members. She would want to take percentages of our already existing costs and charge the parents for that. And we don't do that with
I
any
didn't say
program,
that.
Bill. We don't
I
do
didn't
that with
say that.
any we don't do that with any program. Just
I,
like honestly, there are programs at the community center that guests come to from other towns. Tess doesn't say, I'm sorry, you don't live in Andover, so you can't pay to have lunch here. I've been there for lunches. It's a great program, and they have out of towners that go there. So it would
And
be
they pay for it.
unrealistic.
right.
It would be unrealistic
But
for
we,
us to say we're going to start charging our own families to a percentage to use existing facilities. That would be me like saying, Rob, I know you want to use the gym for a town meeting, but you've got to pay me because it
I
costs me
did
for
not
the
say that.
electricity.
For the
okay.
record,
Okay.
I
Okay.
never said that. For the record, I never
Well,
said that.
you did say that
No,
you think
no, I
that
didn't.
you did say that you think
I
that the
said
extra classes for like the gym teacher could be reduced and their salary could be reduced if it wasn't for preschool. And that's not the case. That was a full-time gym teacher when we had two uh, preschools. So we didn't go full-time because we all of a sudden had four preschools. That did not happen. So thank you. I'll let you get back to your meeting, Rob.
so
Okay.
because you have had to increase to 4 classrooms, you did not have to increase any FTE for any specials.
Nope. As a matter of fact, the one thing that I did have to increase a year and a half ago was speech services, and we hired a different person, Karen, and paid her to do preschool speech screenings and took it out of the preschool budget. That was not a responsibility of the current speech teacher. So any of those extra things we paid this year for enrichment music, not our music teacher, another person to come in out of preschool grant funds. We paid that person to come do enrichment music for the preschool. So those expenses get passed on to preschool when they are preschool only expenses.
And so there would be no talk about increasing tuition. I mean, tuition has been the same since further back than 2019. I
Yes,
think
and
that's
Liz,
kind of,
right now with the changes going on with the state, we currently receive with Early Start, which used to be School Readiness, and Smart Start, we receive $6,000 for each of those slots. They have not told us what's going to happen in a year or two with that program. They've said that there's this like checklist. Maybe those districts that take out of towners will receive more if they have out of towners. Maybe the increase to the early start funds is going to go from 6 to 10,000. Maybe the smart start is going to go from 65,000 to 100,000. Maybe if you have more rooms rather than less rooms and you can show that you can check the checklist, there'll be incentivization money. I sit on about 4 meetings a month. I have one tomorrow. 4 meetings a month with OEC and the State Department of Education, as well as the RESC, as does my principal and the team at AES. So I can tell you that we are following very closely all of the changes that are occurring for them to implement universal preschool. And we are set up very nicely right now that if there's any incentivization money that's going to be offered, because our program is considered a benchmark program, because we are a model and we are NIAC accredited with a 98.9% rating, we will be eligible for that. And we're going to continue to maintain our level of rigor and our level of success with our students so that we can be eligible for more money come 27-28 school year.
All those things are great, but I'm just going to sit there and be the bearer of bad news. But the federal grants and the state grants are just not guaranteed. I mean, the state of Connecticut's going to lose $1 billion in federal
That's not
funding.
true. The state of
Listen,
Connecticut, no,
listen.
I
Just come on,
campaigned
Valerie.
towards
You
that.
just
Hold
spouted.
on.
You just
point of
spouted all the
Hold
order,
on.
facts.
Hold
point
Just
of
let
on.
me
order.
talk about
Hold
it.
on.
Just
Everybody,
let me talk
Order.
about it. And
let
even if my
Jeff
numbers aren't
finish and
even,
then we'll
even
respond.
if my numbers aren't even close to being right, you just saw in this distribution of $270 million that our town of Andover got 98. It's a
98.
pittance. It's a joke. We have to prepare, right? We have to understand
We
that
are.
there are constraints that we're going after. Now, I asked you specifically for the number, and I went into the last agenda that's out there for the Board of Education, and it says there's 187 current students in the school. And Valerie, I really want you to tell me if my logic is correct, right? And you keep going all the way back to 2010 when I think we had, let's see, how many kids do I have for that period? 301 students in K through 6. And currently we have 189. And you keep comparing the spending at that level, and that's a problem,
No.
right? That's what
So,
you're
hold on.
doing. I'm
Hold
gonna
on.
finish. I'm just gonna finish.
Yep.
Right. So I'll go to a much shorter span for everybody to understand what has happened. So in the year 23-24, our actual spending was $3,789,000 on AAS. We took and put the difference into, no, I didn't, but the Board of Finance took the money and put it into the capital fund. So the underspend of 400 and some odd thousand dollars went into the capital fund. But that was your spend, $3,789. You had 174 children in your class. And currently we're asking here, the Board of Education is asking for $5,063,000. And you've only gone up to 189 children. That's 15 children. That's a $1,274,000 total increase in spending in a span of 3 or 4 years for 15 children. That totals $84,966 per child. That is unsustainable.
You're not comparing apples to apples.
How can I
You're not.
not be?
You love to take out the
Those are your
preschool.
numbers,
No,
Valerie, not
my
mine.
turn. My turn. You love to take out the preschool numbers. You said, let's go back to 2023 and then 2010. First of all,
preschool matter?
It does matter. I went to 2015 when I did all of my comparisons this year. That's a decade. From 2015 to 2020, the budget was cut $418,000 to, quote, right size it because the enrollment was going down. We never got back those people. We never got back that money. And if you look at the budget from 2015 to 2025, the total increase was $244,000. That's a real number. They can look it up on our website or the town website. So that's the real number, 244,000. You also will reference oftentimes, Mr. McGuire, the actual expenditures, and you will say, well, you had a surplus that year that you put in the capital account. We most certainly did, because we were responsible with fiscally responsible with our overage. I went to Robert and I said, due to COVID and ARPA money and all of the other things, we didn't spend that money on nothing. We didn't build a building. We didn't do anything with that money. We didn't hire staff like some towns did to make it easier that we were going to fall off a cliff and not be able to pay. We went to the Board of Finance and said, we can put this money aside because we have no capital account and it's the right thing to do for taxpayers. So I do resent that being thrown back in our face where we took that money and we were reasonable enough to say, let's put it aside for a rainy day for capital for 35 School Road. And at the time, Robert and Joanne Hebert worked hard with that. That is the reason why the bathroom is not costing a penny to the taxpayers more than that money was put in there. So when grants can supplant instead of supplement, we do, and we do that well. So then you can't look at the actuals that year and say that's not fair because the town side has an overage every year as well. And I don't have 57 funds to take money out of. We're looking at $1 million this year alone funding those funds, and I don't have that privilege. So I just respectfully, Robert, and I'll give you back your meeting, I think that to cherry pick a couple of things, like I'm not an expert in the field, but I think that you guys can go back to 2 classrooms. That's not true. It's not accurate. It would not even service all of our Andover children. To say, I think you added people for the sake of preschool without telling us, that's not true. You know, we added a 4th and a 5th grade class. So there again, those are 2 extra specials right there. So I think we do need to get back to the budget. I think we need to stop attacking preschool. It is not a line item in this budget. It isn't.
Yeah. Well, just
Okay.
the last
Can
thing,
I
Rob.
ask?
What I'd
Rob,
like
just
to,
one thing,
what
one
I,
thing, one
I
thing,
would
one
like
thing, one thing.
to hear.
There is 112 student just in K through 6 decrease from the year that the superintendent references. 112 students down. And the reason why I focus on the pre-K, Superintendent Bruno, is because you have told me in multiple years that it did not cost the taxpayers of Andover any money. So I have to take that out of the calculations because I am taking you at your word that it does not cost the taxpayers of Andover any money. So I focus on the K through 6 because you have told me that it doesn't cost us any money. So I'm just letting you all know we've lost 112 students. And in the last few years, we've had a significant spike in what you've been allocating to the school. And that's why you need your money. That's why you need your information to make these decisions because they're not easy.
When I
okay.
arrived, there was
Okay.
175 students
All right.
in
You
2020.
referenced 2010.
No, I did not. I
That's
arrived
what
in
you did.
2020.
You just
2015.
said it.
2015.
2015. Okay.
Right. But
Now, can
only
we
been here
rein
for
this
5.
in and
Rob, do you
instead
mind
of
if I
having this
ask?
back and forth airing of grievances, I want to tighten this up, guys. It's 9:38. We have decisions to make. I want to move to the part when we make proposals. All right.
I think Kim has a question,
I do
Rob.
have
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm not sorry, but since we're on the subject of the pre-K, no, there's been a couple of things that have been brought to my attention, and I do want to ask Valerie, for our little kids. You have 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, and I noticed in your handbook, how do the how are the 3-year-olds funded for like lunch and stuff like that? Do their moms and dads bring in their food? Do they buy food at the school?
Their moms and dads bring it in, and if the school does provide things like snacks, the snacks are charged from Coventry Food Service directly to the pre-K account.
Okay.
That bill comes in and it's paid from the pre-K account. I assure you that you are not paying for their lunches.
Oh, okay. And our 3 and 4-year-olds, transportation. Do they
They
ride a
cannot ride a
bus?
bus until
I
they're
haven't
5
finished
years
my
old.
question. Please
They
don't
can't ride the
interrupt me.
bus.
Do they ride a
Right.
bus? Do they come in on their moms and dads' vehicles? How are the 3 and 4-year-olds for our pre-K program getting back and forth to the school? And then, so what happens with them at 3 o'clock when they're our kids getting ready to leave for the day and their moms and dad, do they pick them up? Like, how does that work?
Just like every other kid in the building, their parents pick them up. Our children that are under 5 years old are not allowed to ride the bus. So
there's no pre-K kids on the Andover school buses. How about the vans?
What do you mean the vans?
Well, there's smaller
no,
buses.
the only vans we have are special ed transportation. We don't have vans to take people home. Only special ed transportation.
So no pre-K kids are on our bus.
I just said anybody under the age of 5 is not allowed to ride the bus.
Pre-K kid who doesn't qualify for kindergarten, maybe.
That is a possibility. If somebody is 5 years old, they can ride a bus, but nobody under the age of 5 can't. So if you had a pre-Ker that turned 5 this month and the parents said, could I ride the bus? They'd have to be an Andover resident, of course. But would Taylor say yes if they were 5? She probably would, yes, because then they're legally allowed to ride the bus. But obviously our buses only stop in Andover, so they would be an Andover resident.
Okay. I noticed that there's a big jump in transportation. And I'm not equating it to that. I'm trying to sort it out myself. Thank you.
They ride the bus.
Okay. Do we have any further questions, or can we move to the part where we talk about adjusting the AAS budget line? All right. Why don't we do that? Now, as you were building towards something.
I was.
So if you wanted to continue and if you have a motion you want to make, I have thoughts. I don't want to dominate the discussion. I'm trying to chair the meeting here, and I certainly have a figure in my head, but I want to hear what others think.
So I have been waiting and have asked a couple of times for that aggregate number that we asked for what it costs for the benefits and Medicare and stuff for the preschool portion of it, and haven't gotten that. So I kind of was doing my calculation. I'll take out the other items because there's no other way to do it because I can't get the numbers that I've asked for. It looks like there could be $313,000 in expenses for, oh, let me take that one off, for benefits and whatnot tied to the preschool. I don't know, just a point, I guess. I don't know. Rob, why don't you go?
All right. So again, we still have to talk about fund balance, but we're talking about AES right now. My end goal here, I was thinking, can we get somewhere between 3.5 and 4 for the tax increase from the 6.7 we presented? And if we were to cut 50,000 out of AES and use 100,000 in fund balance, right? You'd then be, you'd be at 313, I think. Something along those lines. And that's about a 3.1% reduction. That gets you to 4.6. So not quite there. So I was thinking that and talk about fund balance and then do the math, see where we're at. I'm not saying it's the end game, but I wanted to see what it did. I feel like if we cut them more on top of that, I worry that we could, start to run into trouble. So I know that there are members of the board who would probably think that's light. I understand that. That's my starting figure. That's where I think is the right answer. I think if you look at the very modest cut that we made to the town side, and you look at the advisory questions, which again, both were deemed too high. More people said school is too high, yes, but both came in with, hey, this is too high. So my thought is the cuts should be kind of commensurate with those numbers, right? And if we're making a $16,000 cut to the town side, 50 is actually significantly more than that on the school side. So that's my thought. That is my thought. My thought is 50.
What's that percentage, Rob? What's the
Well,
percentage
in
decrease?
terms of the overall budget?
No,
The
AES
school
percentage decrease.
Okay, well, they're asking for about a 500,000. It's just shy of $500,000 increase, right? And that's your 11%. So that would take it down to 450, right? So it would be more like a 10% increase than a 11% increase.
I don't think that's going to fly with the
I can do the
towns.
math. I can do the math if you want 5, 5-0,
Yeah,
1.
I don't really think that's enough. I mean, it was pretty clear what the town people have said. I really think we need to go lower.
I think it was pretty even between the town budget and the AES budget. How about we ask AES to come back with the same 16.4 we did?
16,000?
It's the same amount we cut our budget.
Yeah, but you can't do apples to apples.
Our budget increase was not as huge as theirs.
No.
So it's
not
can't really even.
It's not clear.
It's not even.
It's not apples to apples.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah, you can, and it is not apples to apples.
I'm just saying, my fear is, and Superintendent Bruno was nice enough to give me a tour of the school when I first started. I was looking through the line items and I was looking through the things in the school's decisions. I think the board has done all the assessment and made the right calls for what we needed. My fear is if we keep kicking the can with the school budget, eventually it's going to compound and it's going to be a bigger problem. And I just, that's my thought on it. So I'm wondering if like we go, just to show fairness, we do the same 16.8 for them that we did for us.
I hear what you're saying there, but I have to agree with Liz that I hate to say this, Valerie, but you're looking at um the AES ask is 3 times what the town is. So if the town cuts 16,000, you have to ask for at least 3 times that to be, if you're talking about being equal, which is about $50,000, Rob. Thank you. But so it does have to be proportionate to Liz's point. You can't just say 16,000, Rob, because that, I mean, not Rob, Nick, because that's not proportionate. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at an 11% increase versus a, I don't know, 3 or 4% increase. So I do think you have to kind of make it proportionate.
Right. I've pulled up just for everybody's edification, again, the advisory questions. You can see the differences. You see a lot of just, the just right numbers are actually pretty similar. But the too high, Andover education budget was deemed a little too high, and the Andover town budget was deemed a little too high. So I look at this and I say, okay, yes, in consideration of the fact that, we're dealing with an 11% increase request, and that advisory question number was a little higher. I'm trying to do something that I'm trying to kind of mix and match that all together and come up with a number that seems equitable. And I arrived at 50. Your mileage may vary. That's my thought. And I'm happy to make that motion, but I know that there are those of you on the board who disagree. And if you want to make your motions, we can review and discuss. I'm not trying to ram through what I want. So that's my thinking, guys. I'm looking at the advisory questions. I'm looking at what we did on the town side. I'm looking at, hey, we're getting the state aid money. We're getting the 49,000 back from the 24-25 budget. I'm looking at all those moving parts. And I think if we did 50, that gets us into a much more reasonable tax increase range. I'd still want to do the math on the other spreadsheet and get the exact number. But I think it would get us down into a much better place. So that's my thought. But I'm willing, I think we need to, we're pushing 10 o'clock here. So we need to make decisions. We need to make motions. We need to proceed.
So I
make a motion.
feel, actually, can I, yeah,
okay.
I feel going from 11 to 10 is not going to make it with the town. And we're going to be back here again after spending more thousands of dollars going through another referendum. So we have to find out something we feel is going to be something that the town is going to accept. And I don't think 10 is going to make it. So go ahead, Liz.
Did you consider the money that the 100,000 and the 50,000 right? We have the money that the board got for additional education and the money that they gave us back, the 50,000.
So can I make some?
If you add that in there as well, then you're reducing the budget that much more.
So
that makes sense.
I totally get what you're saying, Bill, but
I'm just
58% of the voters didn't know about that money that was going to come in. We know because we're on the Board of Finance.
Right.
Okay.
We found out really late.
So
we found out right before the vote.
Can I finish? So
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
I understand, Rob. We're all tired. I am too. I have to work tomorrow. So I feel like as a Board of Finance member that I need to kind of narrow my thoughts down to what they knew when they voted. And the vote was 58% felt that it was too high. And I also checked in with Wally Barton, and I'm going to quote him. He's not on the meeting. Sorry. 25,000 bucks it costs us each time we go through these votes and everything. And then there's another $500 for the clerk mailer. So that's $3,000 for the voting.
Wow.
And then there is the fact that most people that I've communicated with before we even got to this point were completely shocked at even putting up the 7.5%. So most people are saying, I would really like to see 2 to 4%. So I'm just telling you what people are communicating to me as a Board of Finance member. And I'm trying to compare, what I'm trying to do is compare apples to apples. And again, the 456 number is what our taxpayers told us before the discounted dollars were showing up.
Right.
So I think that we are going to have
We're getting too low.
problems if we don't listen. We're going to go
Can I
back.
add to that? Can I add to that, Kim?
Of course, I'm finished.
I don't want to stop you. I just wanted to add that we can play with the numbers and grants and all we can, but what it boils down to is the expenditures. And these expenditures are going to be permanent, right? They're going to be permanent. I mean, we're pushing over a $5 million budget now. It's it's a lot for a tiny school. And I think people are getting scared with that. So I agree with what you're saying, Kim. Um, I think we need to look at the expenditures. That's all.
And
So
so I want to circle back to that too, because I also look at the fact that there is that large amount of money going from the taxpayers, but the school's also receiving a substantial amount of money in state grants. And they should. It's awesome. I think it's great, but it's still a large amount of money going into the school budget. There are federal grants that go into the school's budget, which I don't know. I dug around to try to figure that out. There's the tuition from the pre-K that they're getting. They have that capital account, which they should have. They're probably not going to spend all of that on that bathroom, but it's also a really nice buffer. If something were to happen at the school, they would have some of that money to use for a substantial project. They've got it, it's theirs. It's in their control. We kind of talk about it, but we know they could have it. They've also got that 2% non-lapsing account, which every year is going to be replenished.
No, it's
So
not.
This year, they're
Yeah,
drawing down from it this year,
they're
guys.
drawing it
they're
down
going to
this
draw
year.
down from it, but I do believe that it's going to be replenished.
They don't have the
It's
money to
more or
replace
less
it.
nets out. It's just point of order, and then I'll let you finish. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I just have the information. My understanding is they're going to be putting in 87,000 and change from the 24-25 year, and they're drawing down, I believe, 97,000 for this fiscal year. So it
Okay.
nets out to about a $10,000 reduction. It's
Okay.
it's not being fully replenished, but it's close-ish. Correct.
But it's still, I'm trying to say that I don't, I'm not trying to hurt kids or, make any bad decisions here, but I do think that we need to look at like this huge picture of what is going on. And it's bigger than what the taxpayers know. It's what I know. I've looked at the budget. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
I still
I
think,
I'd
Kim,
like to
that
get
we
to
have to
questions.
consider the amount of money that we did get in additional. Yes, the town is going to receive that benefit, that the budget is going to come down that much more based on that $150,000. If we take another $50,000 out of their budget, that's $200,000 the taxpayer is going to benefit from.
I understand that, Bill, but I also think that my responsibility here is to make sure that we explain everything to everyone
Okay.
and we listen to them. And I get a lot of comments from our taxpayers And I'm trying to make sure that I convey that to all of you and that we represent the taxpayers and our children. It's very important that they receive the best education we can give them. But there is a big picture that our taxpayers don't see. Those accounts, you know what I'm saying? We know more.
Yeah.
We do.
I don't disagree with you, and I continue
You're
to
never
want
going to get
to
anybody who doesn't love
get
kids more than
more,
me.
I'd love more information in this budget. I worked on the presentation for a reason to provide more information. I'm always in that vein. So I agree with you, Kim. What I would really like to do, though, board members, is take action. You know what
Yeah.
my thought is. Some of you disagree with it. I completely understand that. I am totally unsurprised. That's fine. I'd like to have motions here, and move forward. If you want me to make mine, I'll lead off. That's fine. But I generally like to, you know, let you guys have a crack at things, and then if I have thoughts.
I'd
So
like to make a
but it's
motion that we
pushing 10
reduce
o'clock.
the Andover elementary school budget by $50,000.
Bill moves to reduce AES 50,000. I'll second it. All right. We've talked. If you have more comments, I won't shut them down, but we've talked a lot. I'd like to just go ahead and vote on it.
I just want to make one comment.
Go ahead, Liz.
I just want to point out the fact, this money that we're getting from the state, for the town and for AES, this is a one-time thing. This is
It
not
is.
money that's gonna, just I want to make sure
Yeah,
everybody is aware of
everybody
that.
should be clear that it's a one-shot thing as far as we know, unless they go and they do it again. It is not teed up as a permanent increase to our ECS funding. That is correct. And that's an important consideration. You realize it's not ongoing revenue. Everybody clear on that one? I
Yes.
hope.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Important. Thank you, Liz, for bringing that up. I thought in my spiel I had probably missed. I added in my notes to mention that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and we'll take a vote and we'll see where it lands. Liz,
No.
you're a no. All right, Heather.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. Kim.
No.
Nope. Bill.
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
And
Louise.
sorry. Louise, sorry, I'm scrolling through. Louise
No.
is a no, and I am a yes. So that would be 4-3 motion carries to reduce by 50,000. And I'm going to get this note correct. Reduce.
We're gonna be right back here.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be
Another
right back here.
25,000 to the town. Wasted.
I thought it was 3,000, but yes, okay. If that's
I thought it
what
was
happened.
25.
I got confused in there. I thought it was 2,500 plus 500 equals 3,000, but
It's
if
2,500 plus
Oh, I'm sorry.
500 for
right.
a mailer.
It's
I
not
stand.
nothing, but it's thankfully not
Yes.
$25,000 a pop.
Yeah, okay.
My
bad.
No worries, no worries. We just want to get it accurate. So that does that. Now, we still have to. The last component here would be if people are willing to talk about use of fund balance. I'm going to get rid of this. This is all junk. Use of fund balance again. It's the same issue that Liz rightfully points out. When we do something like this, it's a one-shot thing. If you dip into that savings of ours to offset something, it's not ongoing revenue. You're doing it once. But I think it's appropriate. I mean, we did 190 last year. We did 0 going into town meeting when this budget was rejected. I think we're in a good fiscal position. I think we can absorb 100,000 out of that fund and be okay. And I think it's reasonable to do it. So that's my proposal. I want to hear before we, go ahead and make motions. If anybody has strong feelings one way or the other about higher, lower, not using it all, where's the rest of the board on that one?
I think it's smart to use.
I do too. I'd like to see the 100,000.
All right. In the interest of not being on here till midnight, I'll just go ahead and make the motion, and we can discuss. I'm going to move that we use $100,000 in unassigned fund balance to help offset the tax increase in the budget. Lisa, by the way, just out of curiosity, we would put that on the other chart. We don't really have a line on this chart for that, do we? We have it somewhere, I feel like. And I don't think it's here. I think it's on the other chart. Is that correct?
What are you talking about for change?
Use of fund balance. So, like, for instance, I know it was here. Last year we used 190, and this year we didn't. Yeah, here it is. Right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so right now we're at 0. So this, we don't really have it on this chart, correct?
Correct.
All right, I just
Well,
want to be sure I'm doing it right.
yeah.
All right, so that's my motion. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Do we want to discuss? Anybody have any more thoughts on that? All right, we'll take a vote. Liz.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Okay, I'll come back to you. No problem. Kim?
No.
Kim's a no. Louise?
No.
No. Okay. Nick?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Heather?
Yes.
Is a yes. That leaves you and me, Liz.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
You're gonna say no.
Yeah.
All right. It's my motion. I'm voting yes. That's 4-3. We'll use 100,000. So now what I need to do is get this chart updated and see what we've done. What have we accomplished tonight? And you're taking this down too, Lisa, right? As we
Yep.
go.
I'm trying.
All right, now what I
I've
need to
definitely
do,
got the
'cause
budget down. Yes.
these charts are not, of course, linked. Before we do this next year, good Lord, we got to get these back together. These two charts, because they used to be one chart and you would propagate over, and it was so much easier. My apologies for ranting, but it was a lot easier and it made errors a little less likely. So that's the AAS change. Now, RAM expenditures, by the way, everybody remember, we're going to get something off the RAM levy. We just don't know what. All right, municipal budget. Where is, oh, and we need to get on here the revenue, well, not revenue, but the additional special stuff. So if my notes are correct, we did 50 off AAS, 16.4 off the town, 100 from fund balance, and we have the 98 in one shot. I don't know what you want to call it, revenue, and it's not really revenue, but the state aid.
And then the 49,000 from
And the 49,000 of, right, thank you, Bill, that AAS will return for fiscal year 25. So that total, and I want to get the 98 number correct. It's actually 97 and change, right? It's 8. Here, let's get it right. 80, 192. And then we put the other one in here. Plus 17, 7. All right. So the net here is 313,343. That's what I've got between additional aid and cuts and use of fund balance. That's the difference. All right. So just quick and dirty. if we take amount to be raised by taxation, we take this number. I'm not going to fix this entire spreadsheet tonight because frankly, I don't, I want Lisa to do it and me to check it. And
Yes,
I don't want
I
to do it now.
agree.
Right?
Yes.
So so if I take this down. That didn't work. All right.
Rob, we can probably have Lisa do
Wrong
this
way. Sorry. I
offline
know, but I
because we
wanted
still have,
to show people,
my
and
only
I'm
point, still have to go through public speak at the end of this, and it's already 10 o'clock here.
I know.
Rob, what was your
Ah.
calculation? You said by 100,000 in cuts would cut down. Could you use that just as a brief one until we can get a positive figure? You know what I'm saying? Give people an estimation with what you were saying earlier. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, 313. I mean, that's a 3.1% reduction off of 6.7. So it should get you to 3.6, and I'm calculating 3.58, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we're about 3.6% in tax increase now. We're down 3%, a little bit more than 3%. That checks out. I just wanted to make sure it checked out so that I'm not talking
Trash.
crazy. No, exactly. Not talking trash. So yes, we are roughly at that. I strongly suspect that would duck us under the auto mill rate issue, and be back to one simple mill rate, which would be easier to explain to the public as well. Okay. Unless there is further board discussion, I do think we should move on to public speak. We again have a lot of people to get through, so I'll just repeat what I said the first time around. I'm going to stop sharing. Actually, hang on a minute. Just try to keep it tight, people. Try to, agree, disagree, have
Should be
comments,
a
that's
minute.
fine, but just try to keep it tight.
Should be a minute most.
Okay, let's see. Well, Lisa, you're first up, but you've been involved. I don't know.
Yeah, nope. I'm gonna just keep watching.
Okay. Anna.
I just wanted to express that when we go to vote again, I will be voting no as a town resident.
Okay. Kate?
Yeah, just want to thank you guys for the time that you've taken to commit to this tonight and for serving our town. Have a good night.
Thank you. Diane?
Just a point of clarification that I wanted to say. I do hope you guys remember that if I read the new charter correctly, when we go back to referendum, it's going to be a bifurcated budget. So
Correct.
you just really, all you achieved are showing the school budget as still a 10% increase. It is not going to fly. Just doing the percentage tax increase means nothing to the taxpayer. They want to know what their mill rate is and what the expense increase is for the town. I think you did what you can on the town. There's no more fat in that town budget, but you did not do that for the school. And so we're going to have a town budget that passes, and we're going to have a school budget that we're going to have a big problem with. So you should really consider that. Thank you.
Elizabeth Partridge.
Yeah, I agree with Diane on this. I did think that it was interesting that when you went to the town, they talked about the town budget. They said basically, okay, well, whatever it happens to be, we'll make it work. And I laughed that we won't see that out of the Board of Ed. They dug their heels in, and they still refuse to give complete information. The other piece that was never brought up was that the school has all these solar panels on top of the roof. And we were told that would cut their electricity bill in half. Right there's $15,000 worth of savings that nobody went after. And I think you're going to be right back where you were before.
Eric?
Yeah, I will be voting yes in this budget. Rob and Bill, I want to thank you for your leadership during this meeting. It was great that you kind of took charge and actually kind of met in the middle, like I requested at the beginning of my public comment. A few of you, I don't really like your attitudes on the board, so I would kind of fix that. Elizabeth Partridge, for your reply to my first public comment, you are actually paying $70 less this year than you were 3 years ago. So thank you.
All right. One thing I would like to tighten up on is, let's not have back and forth between the public comments. All right. Jen McGoldrick.
Yes, I just wanted to thank the Board of Finance, especially your comments that there's nothing more important than educating our children, and I could not agree more. So thank you.
Joanne. Oh, sorry. Well, all right. We'll do Joanne. I'll go back to Jenny Morrell. Sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I expected a little more work to be done tonight, based on I knew all of you, I had gone to all of your meetings and I knew you were waiting to hear from the public, and they really made it pretty clear. And I agree with some of you that, again, that I've tried to make this point again, it's the expenses that matter. It's not the artificially bringing it down for 1 year. I just always tried to keep myself impartial at these things, and it's hard to, but you have to listen to what the people say. So a lot of this is on the expenses. And really, there was a tiny bit of work done on the expenses when, a couple things could have happened. I was looking back in the balances like that are in, I know it's a sore subject, but these are bank accounts that are there and have large amounts. Our road improvement fund could have taken a $50,000 hit this year. I know, and still had a huge balance. It still has the town aid road. Maybe another one could have, reduced just 20,000. Again, there's big balances, not the ones that pay for leases, not the ones that are spoken for, but a lot of work has been done in the town. We've given a lot of, so to come on and be ready to, I figured you guys were ready to go. I mean, this is what it is. And luckily, that extra state money, which I read about, is coming in to help with education. That's great. And you reduce 16,000 for, and then whatever's coming back. And thank goodness you decided to use the fund balance. But I just feel let down for the taxpayers that we're looking at the budgets to be reduced. Not let's artificially bring it down, but it is what it is. Thank you for all the hard times at the meetings. And I just thought a little more could have been done. That's all.
Understood, Joanne. Jenny Morrell.
Hello. I'd like to just extend my appreciation for the very, very hard work that you are all going through. To reference a couple comments that were made, I appreciated also somebody had quoted saying we're going to go to the experts, and it was good to see that you were willing to go to Val to get her expertise on something to help you make your decisions. And also, no matter what happens, I think on the school side, the town side, we will all make it work with whatever decision comes out. So thank you again for your work.
Christina Frazier.
No comment. Thank you.
Katie Dixon.
Thank you for your hard work.
Matthew Haggerty.
I appreciate everything. Good work tonight, guys. Thank you.
Melissa.
I appreciate hard work of looking at the budget, and I also appreciate those of you that were looking to look at the budget through a fair lens. So thank you.
Marcy.
I have no comment.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I've forgotten who the Samsung is again.
Hi, Dave Thibodeau.
Yes.
I guess I'm in line with a lot of the folks online here with, I guess I expect a little more from the town budget, but just curious why the benefits section got passed over so quickly. It went by so fast. I thought it was in the $700,000 level. So I'm not quite sure, what the town benefits are, but, it seemed like that might have been an opportunity. The other thing, I'm not sure when the RAM budget gets decided or whatever, how will we know how it affected the town budget?
Yeah, so all right, let me take your questions in turn. The first question, the benefits line, basically those are some of that's contractual. It's all basically governed by, what we have for employees taking insurance, plus the employees get payments those who do not take the insurance get payments in lieu of um, taking the healthcare insurance, and we have a huge spike in the healthcare premium this year. In the consortium we're in, it's like a 21% increase. So we needed to have enough money in that line item to pay the direct premium cost for the employees who do take the insurance, and then the contracts for the people who get payments in lieu of. It's tied to a benchmark of, I believe, it's like 50% of the cost of a single plan. So it all kind of has to go up. We needed to make sure, and I worked on this with Lisa. The reason I sped past it was I think we kind of been over this in multiple meetings where we wanted to make sure we had enough in there to cover those costs, and I'm pretty sure that number is right. The
Does the town
second,
pay 100% of the cost?
no. I think
No.
that's the town side cost, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The employees contribute.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know off the top of my head what the contribution is.
Yeah.
I know at my work I pay 30% or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Less
just
I think it's
curious.
less
Yeah.
for municipal employees. So, I'm sorry. The second question was RAM. So they have their meeting Tuesday night. That's the same time as we're doing our presentation at our town meeting. Now, our town meeting, frankly, it's for review and discussion, and then the two budgets go to referendum, and that's that.
Mhm.
So the RAM meeting, you might say, is actually more important. They're going to do what they're going to do. Then we're going to vote on the May 26th. So by then, we should know what RAM did. And
Okay, that'll be posted somewhere.
I could try to make sure we post something to explain that. I'm sure also the River East will probably reach out and ask what the impact would be on us. I've been back and forth with them. But I'll try to make sure that we try to communicate that as well as we can to the public in advance of the vote. Um, yeah, and then if we that'll affect our mill rate calculation, and we of course only set the mill rate once the budgets are passed and we know what we're spending.
Right. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. You're
Rob,
welcome.
just as a quick information, both votes are on May 26th. So as a town, we will be in referendum for all the budgets on May 26th. So
Right.
we won't know RAM until we vote on it.
That's true. What I'm saying is the proposal for whatever the RAM Board of Ed does in response to the what happened.
Understood.
Yep. Okay. Shannon.
First of all, thank you very, very much for all of your hard work and discussion tonight. I greatly appreciate it. I just want to make 2 points. One is, I believe that the town somewhat forgets that 2 or 3 years ago, we gave the town budget a 16% increase. So it's not surprising that the town budget doesn't need an incredible amount of increase. Why Andover Elementary School needs it is for all the reasons that you already know and we don't need to elaborate on. But let's remember that the town got a 16% increase. And at that point, we relied on the expertise of the Board of Selectmen who said, we need that. I really wish people would rely on the expertise of our superintendent and the work that the Board of Education does in telling you the budget that we need. The second thing is, I appreciate what was said, but I do believe that people do need to focus on the amount of the tax increase and not just get overwhelmed by a 10% increase for the school budget. We didn't get overwhelmed by a 16% increase for the town. I hope that people will focus on the resulting cost out of their pocket. Thanks very much, and thanks again for all of your work.
Tess, I see you joined us. You have public comment for us?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Val?
Hi. Yes, just to piggyback off of what Shannon said, yes, there have been other times that we have needed to do this for the town. I can tell you that because thanks to you guys tonight, because hopefully we will not have to kick the can another year. Next year, when we have this conversation, we won't be recovering from years earlier, and we should be in a situation where we've gone through that recovery. As far as insurance, one of the gentlemen brought up insurance. Just a reminder for us that such a large number in terms of we have many, many more employees than the town side. So that was really huge thing. I appreciate you looking at the bottom line because the goal is the balance on the bottom for it to be that 3.7 as you mentioned or something lower than what was originally presented. And so I appreciate that it was equitable in terms of not trying to balance the budget completely on the backs of children. And the one last thing is Betty brought up the solar. It was live as of this past month. And so we are only 2 weeks into creating power, and we look forward to sharing that with the community as we move forward. Because, yes, next year's budget, we should see some savings as a result of it since it just went live. Thank you.
Leanne.
Yes, I'm glad that Diane brought up the idea about bifurcation. I've been reading the charter. It didn't come up earlier, and I've been reading the charter during the meeting, and I am in favor of having this as a tool. I think it's appropriate, so I'm glad it was brought up, and I think it's going to be a good tool.
Yep, that's been in there since the last charter revision in I think it was late 2024 that we put that through. That's relatively new to the town. Some of you may remember it. I think we've only had it happen once. I think it happened last year. So it is definitely new, and for those of you who haven't been through it before, it's a little bit of a change. Okay, I think I got everyone. If there's anybody on here that I did not call for public speak, now's your time. I apologize if I missed you. I think I went through everyone. Anybody? All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Bill moves to adjourn. Any second?
Second.
Liz seconds. All right, I'll go around the board. Heather.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Bill.
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Louise.
Yes.
Huzzah. We are adjourned. Thank you all for your work. We'll hope for the best. I will see you all soon. Thank you.
Take care.